All right, here we go. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to Anderson High School as we bring you North Central Conference football. Tonight, the Red Devils still looking for their first win of the season. They'll take on the one-win Anderson Indians here in the second of the final game of the regular season. Tournament play begins in 2 weeks. Troy Derengowski along with Eric Banton. And, of course, Jesse will be joining us, I understand, a little bit later. You guys will take us through tonight's game. And we welcome you to the Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. And you know, Eric, we're to the point now where the Red Devils are very, very close. If they don't win tonight, next week will certainly be a huge, huge game to try to get that first win of the year, which you don't want to try to do against a pretty good Harrison football team, and then we think about sectional play after that. So you got to find a way to win tonight, and that puts a little more pressure on your team now to come out here and certainly perform much better than they have.
Yeah, and the pressure, I think, is definitely on tonight. This is probably, without a doubt, Richmond's most winnable game, I think, with the games that are left this season. Anderson comes into this only 1-6 on the season, but they beat a Muncie Central team that I think has been plagued by injuries as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this Richmond team comes out. Both teams really are somewhat similar as far as scoring-wise, at least in conference play, and it should be interesting to see how the game plan is centered around these teams today.
You know, Trayshawn Jones will get the start here tonight. He is in the driver's seat at quarterback for the rest of this season, and you probably heard our show earlier this week where I think it's kind of a benefit to have him now at quarterback, taking nothing away from Brandon Curtis, but Brandon limited in his ability to run the football where Trayshawn Jones can run. And then you put Ron Sanders back in as another tool that you can use, and they've got to have more offensive weapons if they're going to succeed in the tournament in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they showed some flashes last week against Lafayette Jeff with Ron Sanders in the backfield. He had some great runs, got a 50-yard-plus run that got him into the red zone. Unfortunately, had some turnovers down there in the red zone, which is nothing that you want to have, but you saw what kind of explosiveness he can have when he hits a hole and head straight upfield, because he's got some speed and some pretty good moves as well. So I expect to see a heavy dose of Ron Sanders on both sides of the football today, both in the running game and at his safety spot.
You know, I've never been on a team that has gone through something like this. In fact, even in the now 28 years that I've been involved in Richmond football, we haven't seen anything like this where you possibly, you know, if they don't win tonight, I think next week is awful tough to say you can walk in there and win. You always certainly try, but to have a season where you just can't win football games, it's really trying on everybody. It's trying on the parents, it's trying on the coaches, the players, I think even the community, because you take pride in your football program.
Absolutely, and this Richmond football team has not had a winless season in their history. The most recent tough season that they had was all the way back in 1995. They went 1-8. Which has been their worst win-loss record in program history. So, and going back even further, the last bad season then was in 1940. So we're talking pre-World War II era here, 1-5-2. So this is kind of an awkward period if you're a Richmond Red Devil football fan, because you've never seen a transition like this, I don't think, before in your program's history. So it's definitely going to take some getting used to, but I think with the coaching staff that Richmond has in place, with Coach Tawfiq leading the charge there, I expect this will be a couple of year project, no doubt, but we can see the potential here, especially in the last couple of games, especially Lafayette Jeff. We got to see what Trayshawn Jones can do as a quarterback, not only with his legs, but possibly with his throwing arm. He didn't have many opportunities to throw last week because he was getting so much pressure in his face. And that Lafayette Jeff team is a really strong football team.
Yeah, very well balanced. We don't know much about Anderson. As you said earlier, they did beat a Muncie Central team who has gone through their tough times as well. But I know coming here over the years, if you don't play well, they've got enough athletes where they can make it really tough on you no matter how good you may be. But again, we just don't know much about them coming into this one here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last 4 weeks for them have really been struggles, starting with a 36-0 loss at Marion, losing to Harrison 35-6, then losing to Kokomo 56-7, and 49-6 to Tech on the road last week. And the last time they scored in double digits was that win against Muncie Central back on September the 1st. So I think this program is having a little bit of a tough time, particularly on offense. Their defense, again, is probably a lot like Richmond's in the fact that they give up a lot of chunk plays probably and a lot of scoring, period. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what these two offenses will test the defenses of each other.
Well, and that's just it. If you look at those numbers and you consider that Richmond's not even scoring 10 points per game, Anderson, what are they at, 11.7? But again, those numbers, you look at, those are basically 2 games, Pendleton and then the Muncie Central game. I can't imagine that we're going to see, I wouldn't think we would see, again, both defenses do struggle a little bit as well, that we're going to see a low-scoring game here tonight, because I think you'd kind of just let's open this thing up and try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, I was talking with my dad earlier today about this game. I said it's either going to be 14-13 or it could be 41-38. You never know with two teams like this, again, both struggling. Sometimes it just takes an equal opponent that can really see where you're at, and I think this is that game tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, both teams are there's nothing in the conference you're going to do now other than you want to try to get a win because you still have the NCC awards at the end of the year. You've got to get wins in order to get more players on those NCC teams and such. So there is a little bit of a pride factor there as well. And for Richmond, they just want to get that goose egg off the board here tonight. We're going to hear from Abe Toffee coming up in just a couple of moments. I want to remind you tonight's game is brought to you in part by your Richmond area Subways. Each day of the week, you can get a different 6-inch sub with no artificial flavors or colors, only $3.50. Every Thursday, it's the Italian BMT, Friday the tuna, and Saturday the Black Forest ham. Treat yourself at Subway, 4 locations in Richmond and Hagerstown. Subway, eat fresh. All right, the head coach is next as we continue in the Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com.
Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top-flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information. Big Boy's Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boy's Pizza. 765-488-0023.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
At Harrington Hogue, we believe your life belongs to you. That's why we work hard to make sure that your insurance coverage is the last thing you have to worry about. So when it comes to keeping you protected,
We got this.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Welcome back to tonight's pregame, the Red Devils and the Anderson Indians, North Central Conference action here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Coach, we talked earlier this week, and I know you're familiar with Anderson, and I've been here long enough to know that, you know, they've had some years where they come out and they'll chuck the football, and they've got athletes, and they'll go get it. There's other years they've had good running backs. What do they have this year that you look at that might be of a big concern tonight? Do they have a running attack? Are they better passing? Or
you know, they're a 50-50 team. They throw it, they run it. Their quarterback is a heck of an athlete. You know, he can run it, he can pass it. So, you know, I would say if we're able to contain him, you know, we give our defense a really, really good shot at being successful. If we let him outside the pocket, you know, then he could hurt you. You know, so they've got a couple of really, really big offensive linemen that look like they can block some people and, you know, get them out of there, drive them off the line of scrimmage. Some wide receivers who have some pretty decent speed and good athleticism. You know, they're a team that pretty much looks kind of like us. You know, they've got some athletes here and there, you know, pretty good kids, but still, you know, trying to figure it out as a football team, you know, and come together and play as one.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier this week, which really kind of makes sense. You know, they beat Muncie Central.
Yep.
I still go back to that Muncie Central game you guys played against them, and I just love their quarterback, and they look like a very good football team, and they've kind of hit some rough times lately.
Yeah.
They beat them,
Yeah.
and then you look at some of their scores, and it kind of makes you scratch your head what's going on.
It really does. It's kind of one of those things that you look at it and you think, wow, well, that doesn't make sense. But, you know, that's the way football is, man. It's any given Friday.
Yeah.
You know, and who knows what types of injuries they've had. Maybe they've had some injuries and, you know, gotten some kids hurt and playing some kids that probably shouldn't be playing, you know.
You know that feeling, huh?
Oh, you know, hey, it is what it is.
You may be writing a book on that.
That is, you know what, I've embraced that this season because I really feel like that's going to be a blessing for us down the road, and that we're just being forced to give kids varsity snaps. Yeah. You know, and I guess it hurts now, but it couldn't hurt any at all down the road. You know, and so maybe that's another situation. You know, it's all speculation. I'm not sure exactly what they're going through as a program, but you know, some of those scores do make you kind of scratch your head a little. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other thing, and I go back to some years, we've gone up there with a good football team and walked in there and thought, yeah, you know, they're 1-5 or 1-6, and walked out of there with a loss.
Right.
So again, they're athletes, and the guys that they have can, if you're not careful, they can get you.
I tell you what, anytime you underestimate an opponent, you always put yourself at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's one thing I preach to my guys every week. Never underestimate the teams you play. And, you know, we kind of saw that in the Connersville game. Even though I told the kids, hey, man, this is going to be a dogfight. You know, do not, you know, if we play the type of football we can play, then I knew we could win the game and pretty much run away with it. But if we underestimated them and didn't come out and play as hard as we could play, you know, it could turn into a dogfight, and then it could go either way. And I'm assuming that that was, you know, kind of the culture in those situations, you know, and that you just kind of get in that habit or that culture of underestimating opponents instead of, you know what, I'm not okay with mediocrity.
Right.
I don't like being average. And so I'm going to go out here, and it doesn't matter who I'm playing. If they're 0-10 or 10-0, I'm going out to do my absolute best. And once we get that mindset, you know, we'll be in a much better place.
You know, part of that factor could be if you don't understand what that means, and if you have guys that haven't been in athletics or sports or football or whatever,
Yeah.
they don't understand what that means totally.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Right.
does that make a fair assessment about that?
Yeah, you know what? That's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, like some of our guys that are first-year football players, you know, I've talked about not having kind of old habits that we have to break.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, that's something that you learn, you know, from a young age. Is, you know, you underestimate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're 0-10. We don't have to practice as hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're 1 and whatever. You know, we're not going to run these gassers as hard after practice.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that you take that mentality into it, and every time it's going to bite you.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I remember a lot of wins, but I remember some losses. Go to Muncie Central one year, and we were pretty good. They were very bad, got beat 16-0. Go to Newcastle, lose a sectional game 21-20. Just all those things stick out in my mind, and I kind of wondered what happened throughout the week.
Newcastle was what, like hadn't won a game.
Yeah.
You know, my seniors, who were sophomores at the time, have talked to me about that game quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was almost a blessing for us to draw Newcastle, because they've kind of been itching for the opportunity to get some redemption in that thing. You know, and then for us to get on the same side of this bracket as Connorsville, and they're playing against a team who I don't think has won a game either in Mooresville. You know, I think there's a fire burning under our kids right now for an opportunity to redeem themselves. And with both of those two teams that we have a possibility of playing in the sectionals. And so, you know, my kids are fired up.
Pregame tonight.
Yeah.
I don't want to get you too far ahead.
No,
there,
you're fine.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
you're
really
fine.
do.
I mean, hey, we're going into Anderson this week. You know, our kids are fired up. They really see it. You know, as the team's starting to come together, and with Trayshawn at quarterback and Bubba back there running the ball with Wyatt, you know, the kids are really starting to believe. So even, you know, go back to last week against Lafayette, Jeff, we're down 36-0 at halftime, and I tell you what, you couldn't tell it in our locker room.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't tell it, because Bubba Sanders broke off a long run right before we went into halftime. We were down on the 5-yard line right before halftime twice. You know, and couldn't come away with any points. And so, you know, when we came out after halftime, the kids were excited. They fought the entire game. Defensively, I think we got kind of worn down at the end of the game. You know, a team like Lafayette, Jeff, could do that to you, but you know, the kids are fired up, man. They're really believing, and you know, I would just give tip my hat to my coaching staff, and you know, keeping these kids up throughout this season and keeping everybody positive. You know, that's been a challenge.
That's not easy.
You know, that has been a challenge, even for myself, keeping myself positive, keeping my coaches positive, having them keep the players positive, and players lift each other up. You know, you really have to buy into the idea of brotherhood in times like these.
Yeah,
so.
I'm glad you said that. Before I let you go, I always get a chance to talk to other players and coaches, and Centerville, and they lost this past week against Hagerstown.
Right,
and the one thing the Centerville players said to me was, you know what, it hurt, it stung. And when players know that it stings, where maybe it didn't sting before, they felt that brotherhood. And because that's something you don't feel in a lot of other things in life, but you all coming together. Right. And that's what you guys have been doing.
And that's what we've been trying to do, and we're finally seeing it start to come together.
All right, but now I said before I let you go, so you're about as healthy as you possibly can be right now, which is also good news.
Right, yeah, absolutely. You know, we're down 2 guys this week, 2 starters in Bryce Brown and Jacob Jones. You know, we got Bubba Sanders back, Wyatt Bird is back, O'Shea Henderson will be back this week. You know, and so if we can get Jacob Jones and Bryce Brown back, that'd be really the first time since Connorsville that we would have everybody together. You know, and I still believe, you know, if we have all of our guys, you know, that we're a team that can really compete with anybody in our conference.
How soon is Jacob, do you think? Is that concussion thing is tricky, I know, but
yeah,
you know, soon?
He went back to the doctor earlier this week, and you know, he's going to go back again next week, I believe next Monday, to get reevaluated, and if they clear him, then we'll start the concussion protocol, and perhaps he'll be healthy for Harrison. But that'll be another situation where, you know, we'll probably kind of ease him back in there.
Yeah.
And hold him out, along him and Bryce, really probably hold those two guys out until sectionals, you know, in Newcastle. Try to be smart about it, because, you know, it's funny, the kids have told me, oh, Coach, we can go 0-9, man, as long as we make a run in the sectionals.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they've kind of thought to themselves all season, our seniors and some of our juniors. Me, I want to win.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm hungry, man. I want to win, you know, in the worst way right now, man. I tell you what, I've gotten the nicest welcome to the NCC this season, you know, that I think anybody could have gotten. You know, I've just got bent over everybody's knee, and they have just given me the nicest spanking you could ask for. But, you know, hey, that's part of it. You know, that was one of the reasons why I decided to make this move to Richmond, is to play against this tougher competition, these tougher teams, and, you know, really find out what I'm made of. And, you know, I'm going through the fire, and I think it's making me a better coach, and that's only going to make our football team better program. So
I agree.
You know, we're getting there.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Hey, Toffee. We'll come back with more in the pregame coming up in a couple of moments right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
Hi, this is Steve Funkhauser, and I was talking to someone the other day about how friendly and professional the crew at Jiffy Lube is, and they said, you are always so upbeat. I'm going to call you Mr. Positive, and so now I am Mr. Positive. And I want you to know how proud I am of you and that you are doing a great job today. And hey, do something nice for somebody. Make somebody smile. Smiles are contagious, you know. I want you to have a great day and the horse you rode in on. Jiffy Lube. Fast, friendly, professional. I'm Mr. Positive, and I approve this message.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Indiana University East is growing. Enrollment has doubled since 2007, and IU East is the university of choice in this region. With athletic programs, internship opportunities, bachelor's and master's degrees, and a growing number of degree programs on campus and online, it is easy to see why IU East is a leader on campus and in the community. Learn more about the many opportunities Indiana University East offers at iue.edu. IU. Focused on you.
Welcome back to the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. I'm Eric Benton, now alongside my good buddy Jesse Ochoa, and right now we'll go through the NCC schedule for this week. Other than Richmond at Anderson here tonight, we've got Kokomo traveling to Harrison of West Lafayette. Also, Logansport will be going up to Schumann Stadium to take on Lafayette Jeff. Also, Marion will go to Indianapolis Tech. And our final game of the evening will be McCutcheon traveling to Muncie Central. In the TEC, the game of the week with Scott Beeman on Radio Troy Digital Sports is Centerville taking on Union County. Also in the TEC, we've got Hagerstown at Union City. And along with those matchups, we've also got Northeastern taking on Lincoln. Tri is at Winchester. And around the league, or in the eastern portion of Indiana, we've got Franklin County at Batesville, Greensburg at East Central, Knightstown takes on Indianapolis Northwest, which is Coach Toffiek's former school, and Lawrenceburg takes on Connorsville, and Newcastle is at New Pal. So that might be a very high-scoring affair in that one. And right now we'll go ahead and take a short break, and we'll come back and give you one last preview of tonight's matchup, the Red Devils versus the Indians, here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Not all insurance agents are the same. Choosing the right one can make a big difference in price, service, and value. That's why you should choose Harrington Hoke Insurance. As an independent agent, they don't work for an insurance company. They work for you, the client. And their job is to get to know you, your family, and your business so that they can help you develop an insurance plan that is just for you. Serving Richmond and all of Indiana since 1933, Harrington Hoke Insurance, we got this.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf and I approve this message.
It's summertime, the kids are home, and traffic on your carpet is pretty heavy. Let Georgia Direct install stain-proof, waterproof carpet that's easy to take care of and gives your home a fresh new look. Georgia Direct has great-looking carpet, colorful tile, beautiful hardwood flooring, and more. And for the kitchen, the Georgia Direct showroom features lots of new cabinets and design ideas. Georgia Direct in Richmond, National Road East, exit 156A, just off I-70, next to Red Lobster. For price, selection, experience, and service, it's Georgia Direct.
The Purdue Polytechnic Institute in Richmond is part of a statewide network that offers the same technology degrees available in West Lafayette. The benefit of earning your degree at the Richmond location is that the campus is small enough to provide you with dedicated one-to-one attention while you earn your degree from Purdue University. Purdue Polytechnic of Richmond. Give them a call at 973-8228 or go to their website for more information at polytechnic.purdue.edu.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
Mancino's is family-friendly, serving fresh grinders, pizza, pasta, and salads daily. They serve great food priced for family budgets. And whether it's one of their homemade grinders, salads, or pizza, there's sure to be something for everyone in your family. Our baking process may cost a little more and take more time, but the end result of freshness and flavor make the real difference in all of Mancino's award-winning products. Mancino's of Richmond. Give them a call at 966-1161 or go to their website, mancinosofrichmond.com.
As an internet service provider, Parallax Systems offers reliable residential high-speed internet service and business service. With a fiber backbone reaching over 150 miles, we have created a multifaceted delivery system. Our dark fiber leasing has proved beneficial to public and private sectors alike. Parallax serves Wayne County and surrounding areas. Parallax Systems, when speed matters, a division of Richmond Power and Light.
Little Sheba's Restaurant and Zini's Place. Come join us in Richmond at 175 Fort Wayne Avenue or at our newest location in Centerville at 129 East Main Street. Grab one of our gourmet pizzas, a deluxe sandwich, steak or fresh salad, and an ice-cold beer or your favorite wine. Featuring live music every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, plus more in our smoke-free environment. 10% discount with a valid student ID. It's better than being home.
At the Reed Orthopedic Center, our physicians and support team devote themselves to helping you return to a healthy and active lifestyle. Our expertise includes shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, wrist, hip, and knee injuries, as well as pain management and rehabilitation, and school athletic training programs and sports medicine. We are committed to providing you with the best possible orthopedic treatment that we can. To request an appointment at the Reed Orthopedic Center, call 765-935-8905.
New Vision Sports is a training program that focuses on the training and improvement of this serious-minded athlete, including all ages and skill levels. From creating customized workout plans to providing ongoing motivation and support, New Vision strives to help you achieve your training goals. Their trainers use a variety of effective workout plans based on your specific goals. New Vision Sports, 977-5831, or go to their website, newvisionsports.com. That's New Vision Sports with a Z.
Thank you. Welcome back to Anderson High School as your Richmond Red Devils getting ready to take on the Indians. Richmond still looking for that first win of the season. And Jesse, this is probably the most winnable game left on Richmond's schedule this season. Of course, after this week, or after tonight, they'll be taking on Harrison back at home for senior night, and then to start sectional play, they'll be at home against a very, very tough Newcastle team. So what do you think the keys to the game are for Richmond to pull out the win here against the Indians?
I think the key, well, several keys in tonight's game, but one of them is going to be built upon the things that we discovered in the late moments of last week's game. Obviously, the quarterback change kind of changes the offense and changes the perspective of things, changes the way things are going to be ran, and when you make a change like that, we saw the negatives as well. There was a major quarterback-center exchange problem, and that gives this gave them another week to kind of iron things out between those two players. That would be one of my keys of the game going forward, because without the fumbles last Friday, I feel like they moved the ball twice as effectively as they did with those fumbles. So that would be on offense, protect the ball.
Anything on defense that particularly sticks out to you? Of course, Richmond's defense has had a tough time this season. There's no doubt about that. But against a team like Anderson that is a lot similar to them, what do you think that they can do defensively to try and shut down Anderson?
Well, I think the biggest thing in that is there's two drastically different opponents between Anderson and Lafayette Jeff and the style of play. One of the strengths of Lafayette Jeff is the misdirection, getting you on that edge, and then they get you looking and throw the ball. So I think that with the different style of offense that we'll see tonight, not putting up much points in the year, averaging just under 12 points a game on the season, it'll be much closer than what we saw against Lafayette Jeff, and that will affect play calling and things of that nature. So we'll see how it goes.
So Richmond will be kicking off to start this contest. Anderson will get the ball first. So we're going to see that defense tested very early here as we get ready to start week number 8. This season has seemingly just flown by. It always seems like it does, though, Jesse, at this point in the season. And making their way to the field, Anderson's coming out now. A lot of their players wearing pink in support of breast cancer awareness, as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Also have one of their players bringing out Old Glory to midfield as well.
Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Ah, yes. Except that one's not on a 2x4, but that would have been just as cool, believe me. And again, we don't know a whole lot about this Anderson team, and tried finding as much stats as we could. We just simply could not find much out there in the glorious internet that it is. But just judging by some of the scores that they put up this season, if it weren't for that 28-point game and the 35-point game, that points per game average, I would imagine, would be much, much lower than it is this season.
Absolutely. Their totals this far on the season, 0, 28, 35, 0, 6, 7, and 6. So much like Richmond here in these last few weeks, a touchdown or two, and I would imagine that would be late in the game. It's going to be a good one, and like you said, the most winnable game for each team left on the schedule. They know that.
Yeah, exactly. And Troy and I were talking earlier in the pregame, Jesse. This game could go 14-13, or it could be one of those 42-35 kind of games as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Both teams now meeting at midfield. The Richmond kick unit was already out there. I assumed they had already decided to kick off, but as well. And the officials are arranging the teams as the coin toss happens. Looks like Richmond has won the toss. They have elected to defer, so they will receive in the second half. Anderson will get the ball first, much like we speculated a little bit earlier. And just looking at the standings in the NCC, again, both of these teams toward the bottom, nothing really to play for except for pride and a little momentum going into sectional play. But Lafayette Jeff has a one-game lead now over McCutcheon in the NCC. If Lafayette Jeff can pull off the win tonight, they will clinch at least a share of the NCC title. And again, McCutcheon having a pretty good year themselves, 4-1 in the NCC, 4-3 overall in the season. So they must have had a very good, very tough non-conference schedule in that respect as well. But we're just about ready to kick this one off. Again, it is Stephen Huber for Richmond doing the kicking. Got a couple of men back deep as well for Anderson, trying to pick out their numbers now. Could be 28. Actually, number 8, Arion Hall. Here's the kick, and it'll be returned to the 35, to the 40, and just shy of the 45-yard line. Number 6, Jovian Poor on the return there for Anderson, and they have some great field position to start out, Jesse.
Absolutely. Pretty good run back there. Breaking tackles all the way up the middle, north and south running, starting at the 45. Great field position to start off this game.
They only got 50. They have 55 yards to get to the end zone, and at quarterback for the Indians is number 10, Aaron Armstrong, a senior, 6 foot even, and 176 pounds. He'll come out in the shotgun with trips to his left, one running back to his right in the shotgun, and a lone wide receiver right as well. Hard count trying to get Richmond to jump off sides. It's a QB keeper by Armstrong, and he'll get about 3 to 4 yards there on the option keeper. Goes right up the middle of the field, and a good job by Richmond pursuing to the football.
Still going to read option there. Pulled it out at the last minute, up the middle for about 5 yards.
Good job by Armstrong disguising that football as well. Pulling it out almost from the running back's belly. Now he's got 2 receivers to either side of him, does Armstrong. Still in the shotgun. There's the clap, and he's going to keep it again. Going up the middle. He's got the first down and more to the 45 of Richmond. Cutting back to the far side, to the 40. And pushed out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. Got a 15-yard play there for Anderson, and they're moving the football well early.
Another one where I feel like he pulled it out really late, and one thing I noticed early about this quarterback, I feel like he's a heady player. He creates bad angles for the defense to attack him, like on that play, so that is one thing to look out for in the future. He is mobile.
Armstrong looking at his wrist with the list of plays there. He'll work with trips to his right this time, and one running back to his left. Armstrong in using the clap for the snap. He'll try and keep this one again, but great job by the Richmond defense. And guess who? Number 11, Ron Sanders in there for the tackle for loss. A loss of about 4 yards. Back to the 39-yard line of Richmond. Great job by Ron Sanders there. Just playing the QB all the way on that play. And now 2nd down and 14. Just under 11 minutes to go here in the first quarter of action. Armstrong again. 2 receivers to either side and 1 running back. The snap is low. He's got to pick it up off the turf. Running for his life back to midfield. Trying to get rid of the football. He'll go down. That was number 32 for Richmond, Isaiah Webster, the junior linebacker, getting the sack on that play. 5'10", 175 pounds. 2 tackles for loss in a row for Richmond.
That's a 12-yard loss there, pushing them back, making it a 3rd and quite long. And, man, Richmond must feel like, finally, that exactly shows what I was talking about in pregame, how deadly one of those fumbled snaps can be.
The running back next to Armstrong is Elijah Marita, number 4. He's to Armstrong's right. He'll take the snap. Looking to throw is Armstrong. Losing time. Ball is out, and Richmond recovers. Number 41 for Richmond. That's Mikey Vance, the junior. Did a nice job punching out the football, and the Red Devils, with fantastic field position of their own, into Anderson territory. 3 negative plays there in a row for Anderson. It results in a turnover. And now the Richmond offense is on the field, led by number 1, Trayshawn Jones at quarterback.
Armstrong was just in retreat mode there, and like you said, Mikey Vance came in, popped that ball out. Big turnover here, and flipped the field for the Richmond Red Devils.
It is Jones in shotgun. He's got Sanders directly to his right, as well as Bird as a flanker on the right side of the line. Jones will take the snap. It's a keeper all the way to the right. He's got a blocker in Sanders. Gets a block. Cuts up field inside the 30-yard line, and just like that, it's a 1st down for the Red Devils.
Nice 11-yard run off the right side to start off the drive. Now inside the 30-yard line. Just about 9 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, so Richmond looking to probably make their quickest score on the season.
And that is what a turnover can do for you, I think. That right there, Jesse. That has energized this Richmond offense right off the bat. Jones will hand this one off to Bird, trying to go up the middle, but he'll be swarmed by the Indians. And Bird did lose his helmet there at the bottom of the pile, so he may have to come off for one play. And that's what he looks to be doing right now. He's heading toward the sideline. Looks like Gerald Deloney will come in his place. So Jones will work with Deloney and Sanders in the backfield. The receivers on the left side. In the slot is O'Shea Henderson. Good to see him back after being out last week with a concussion. Hoagland is set out wide to the left. Here's the play to the outside. It's a run by Sanders, rather. He'll stay in bounds, gets positive yardage. Back to the original line of scrimmage or so, and it'll be 3rd and 11, actually.
There was a little option there, Jones to Sanders, and I think the pitch was made just a little bit too late after that commitment point, put Ron in a difficult position. But one thing I like about these Richmond players, and points to the coaching, when you get to the point of no return, just put your head down, go forward, and get as many yards as you can. No dancing with these ball carriers.
3rd and 11. Jones looking to throw. Fakes. Now he'll try and take off. He moves forward and may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. There is a flag on the play. More than likely it looked like a hold there on one of the offensive linemen for Richmond. And if I'm Anderson, I might as well just decline that penalty.
It could be a hold or maybe a face mask on the Anderson as Jones was headed to the ground. I saw maybe a little bit of a jerk of the head there, and it looks like they may be moving the ball forward. Face mask on Anderson.
It's going to be that 5-yard variety, though. They'll say it was incidental.
Hands to the face.
So that'll make it 3rd and 6 now instead of 3rd and 11. It was going to be 4th down since Richmond did not convert, but this will keep it alive a little bit. 3rd and 6 now for Richmond. And Henderson is in the slot to the left. Hoagland out wide left. And all alone on the right side is Gerald Deloney, number 5. Sanders and Bird are the running backs in the backfield with Jones. Henderson moving in motion to the slot right. Now Bird moving in motion right.
I believe there's going to be a timeout. Richmond getting awfully close to double zeros on that play clock.
Also may have been very close to an illegal shift, but nonetheless, timeout on the field. on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. We are scoreless here in the first quarter of action between Anderson and Richmond on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Finding a used car dealership you can trust is not an easy thing to do, but for me, the choice was an easy one. I went to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond. I purchased my last 2 cars from Tony's and couldn't be happier with the service. They didn't pressure me, and they worked with me through the entire process. If you're in the market for a great used vehicle, get to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond, 250 National Road West, or give them a call at 962-5665, or go to their website, tonyscarsales.com.
Back with you in Anderson, Indiana. 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Red Devils after taking a timeout there. The play clock winding down. Same formation again. It is Henderson and Holguin to the left, Deloney out to the right, and Sanders and Bird in the backfield with Jones in shotgun. Henderson slipping a little bit as he moves in motion. And now Bird moving in motion on the right side. 10 on the play clock. There's the snap. Ball is actually it went directly to Ron Sanders, and he ends up losing yardage. It'll be now 4th down after the loss on that errant snap there, Jesse.
Yeah, before it got to Mr. Sanders, it got to Mr. Turf, and that's one of the things we were talking about pregame. It just kind of stalls the drive there. They're going to go for it here on 4th.
Ball marked just inside the 30. Jones in shotgun. He'll take the snap. He's going to go ahead and try and run it, use his legs, and lost his footing. That didn't go anywhere. No yardage gained on the play, so Anderson takes over on downs. And again, after a quick turnover there, Richmond's defense doing an excellent job. Richmond's offense started out well, but it just sputtered out there toward the end of the drive.
Well said, Eric. It just kind of sputtered out, drive stalled. Kind of after that penalty, ironically, giving Richmond a second chance to get conversion on 3rd down. Didn't happen, and I like the aggressiveness going forward, kind of there in no man's land on 4th down.
Anderson again going with trips to the left side this time. One lone receiver out to the right, and it is Merida in the backfield with Armstrong. Armstrong takes the snap, hands off to Merida. He's bouncing that out to the near side of the field. He's up to the 40, taking a man with him just past the 45. He took Julian Holguin with him to the 46-yard line, and that's a 1st down quickly for Anderson.
Big 16-yard run there. A lot of good cuts and great vision by these ball carriers on Anderson.
And that's a 1st down as the receivers for Anderson checking out the play.
Seems like everybody has a wristband on Anderson.
Everybody has a wristband. That's interesting. One of the receivers out to the left is number 88 for Anderson, Marquavis Beverly, senior wideout. A little bit of a tight formation there. Inside handoff goes to number 24. He slips out of a tackle. Still going to the far side now, has wide open space. He's to the 40, 35, cuts back inside and is downed inside the 25 of Richmond. Great job running the football there by Keonis Woods. Senior wideout getting the inside handoff there.
24-yard run there by Woods. There is some laundry on the field back at the 47-yard line, so this one may be coming back. Looks like blocking the back is what number 4 is motioning. So we're going to find out here. Yep, and looks like the entire congregation is moving back.
So a block in the back will move them back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
24-yard run there, negated by a block in the back.
So instead of 1st down deep into Richmond territory, this will move the ball back to almost where Anderson started, which is just inside the 40-yard line. They'll mark it at the 38.
And a really good run there by Woods. Breaking tackles, persistent to get to that edge, and once he got it, it was off to the races.
He also made a nice move to cut back inside and gain a little bit more yardage here at the end of the play. So now the Indians back at their own 38-yard line. They'll come out with a tight shotgun formation here. Woods is in motion. Anderson instead gives it off to Merida, but a great job by number 51 there for Richmond. We'll take a look. That's Brandon Thomas, sophomore linebacker. Made a great play in the backfield for lost yardage. I'll move him back to the 36, so a loss of 2 on that play, Jesse.
There's an interesting dynamic to this offense because it always seems like there's a little misdirection before the handoff. And if you can get the defensive players biting one way, it's going to work. But if not, it looks as if it's going for a loss almost every time.
Another inside handoff. This one, it looks like, goes to Woods. And again, great assignment defense there by Richmond, sticking with their man. Actually, number 30 got the handoff, Ty J. Rayford. He's, again, listed as a wide receiver. Ron Sanders in on the tackle. He's been everywhere early, Jesse.
Yeah, and he came in flying Cam Chancellor-esque through that line with the blitz. Didn't get there immediately, but good persistence to come back and make the play.
3rd and 20, just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless here in Anderson between the Indians and Red Devils. Shotgun for Armstrong. Richmond looking to send pressure. There's a swing pass out to the left. Trying to make some moves, get some missed tackles, but not a whole lot gained there. Only about a couple yards or so there, and that'll make it 4th down and long still for Anderson. They're going to send out the punt team. Great job by Richmond, though, there, Jesse. Again, keeping everything in front of them this time. And aside from that opening play where it busted open with the run by Woods, they did a great job containing the runners and playing their assignments.
Absolutely. That was the first pass on the game. It only went for 2 yards, a little swing pass, an extension of a run play. They're doing a great job. Besides that one play on that drive, like you said, keeping things contained because it appears that Anderson does want to get to that edge early and often.
And here is the run back by Richmond, and that was Deloney making the play on the football. He probably could have let that one go. Again, with the rains we've had across the state of Indiana today, I imagine the turf is still quite damp, and it could have died right there. But nonetheless, Deloney did pick up the football. Still not too bad field position here for Richmond, just inside their own 25. Looks like it's at the 23-yard line.
A lot more difficult than it looks in that situation. To make sure you catch it, you're not really sure how that thing's going to bounce. So like the move, making sure it doesn't hit you.
Jones in shotgun, 2 receivers to his left. He'll take the snap, fake the handoff, now pitches out to Bird. Bird trying to go do some damage on the right side, and does do a little bit. Gets about 3 or 4 yards up to the 26-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd and 7 with 3:40 left in the first quarter.
Standard option play off to the right side. Good pitches so far.
Mm-hmm.
So that's encouraging to see there's no miscommunications or errors on Jones's part.
There's the handoff going to Bird. Nice job finding the hole, cutting up the middle, and still churning forward. That's what I really like about Wyatt Bird, is he moves the ball past the 30 to the 31. Gain of about 5 yards, making it 3rd and short.
And only a sophomore.
A lot of development left for that young man. I think he'll be quite the running back by the time he leaves Richmond High School.
Absolutely.
3rd down and short. They'll call it 3rd and 2 here. As Bird goes in motion. Actually, that's Stephen Huber. Bit of a low snap. Handoff goes to Bird, and he's going to get gobbled up back at the 28-yard line. Again, the snap was a little high, and a great job by Anderson going right to Bird.
Same situation here as last week, where it seems like Wyatt Bird gets a few positive runs and a few negative runs and a few positive runs and then a few negatives. So as soon as I can string that together, looking to bust one loose.
So it'll be 4th down and about 6 here. Again, the ball marked back at the 28-yard line. Gerald Deloney back to punt for Richmond, and it is Woods back to receive for Anderson. Here's the snap, a good one, and there's the kick by Deloney. Takes a couple of hops. Woods running up to the football. That was interesting, but he does get it to the 40-yard line of Anderson.
Very interesting.
A very late decision there, I would say.
And as you said previously, I do think going forward, the return man may let it bounce. It does seem to have a little bit of a lessened bounce due to the rains in the area.
And again, we're playing on normal field turf here as well.
Natural grass.
Natural grass. Not many of those left. So Anderson again takes over. Ball is marked at their own 39-yard line. Just under 2 minutes left here in this first quarter. Still scoreless between the Indians and Red Devils. Armstrong, the quarterback, moving Woods over to the left as one of the trips on the left side. Armstrong claps his hands, gets the handoff up the middle to Merida, and a great job keeping his balance and moving forward up to let's see where they mark this. They're going to mark it right at the 45-yard line. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 coming up. And that's been kind of the go-to play, at least early on here, Jess, is that inside handoff late. It's almost like a draw, as now the trips are on the right side, one man out alone to the left. Armstrong takes the snap, hands off to Merida. Merida finds the hole, breaks through some arm tackles, but upended hard, just shy of the 40-yard line of Richmond. That was Stephen Huber making the what could have been touchdown-saving tackle there, as Merida had a wide open space and breaking through a couple of arm tackles there by Richmond.
Absolutely. If not touchdown saving, it would have definitely been in the red zone there. Good vision again by the running backs, or the ball carriers rather, of Anderson. Looking like they got a solid drive here, threatening.
Trips move to the left side this time. Armstrong with the clap, and he'll keep this one. Great job, another late fake as he is upended, but gains a first down to the 27-yard line. And we're seeing an excellent job utilizing the fake on these options, Jesse, and Armstrong's really got that part of his game down at the quarterback spot.
Absolutely. He does a great job kind of tucking that ball away and hiding it as long as possible before he needs to make that decision whether I let it go or keep it. And when he keeps it, it seems to be the right decision every time.
Now 2 receivers to either side here for Armstrong in the shotgun. Merida to his right. Richmond looking to send pressure. Another late handoff goes to Merida up the middle, finds a hole. There is Laundry on the field again. As it stands right now, it is a first down near the 10-yard line. Well, it looks like this one may be coming back.
And once again, Ron Sanders in there almost anticipating the snap, getting in the backfield really quickly. We got turned around, and he was inches away from the ball carrier, but his back was turned to him. Just getting in there and getting tangled around, but I do like that aggressiveness by the Richmond defense, and I think that will pay off in one of these plays in the future with the clap snap is what I call it. It gives the defense a little bit of a time to anticipate when that snap is going to be.
So the penalty is holding, it looked like, there against Anderson. That'll back him up 10 more. So that wipes out a first down carry and moves the ball back a little farther. And they'll put this one down at the 36.
Second offensive penalty for Anderson this evening, both 10 yards. One was the face mask, both have been holding, blocking the back and holding.
And both have wiped out big runs by the Anderson ball carriers. Armstrong gets this snap. He's going to try and keep it himself. Works the tackle and gets past the 35 up to the 32-yard line. And that more than likely will end the first quarter. So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, we are scoreless here in Anderson, Indiana, between the Indians and the Red Devils. We're back with more after this on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, they are advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. Richmond Power and Light provides reliable, low-cost energy and technology services in a customer-focused, environmentally responsible, safety-conscious manner. Richmond Power and Light. Together we make powerful partners.
Back with you here on Radio Troy Digital Sports as we begin the second quarter of action here in Anderson, Indiana, between the Anderson Indians and the Richmond Red Devils. Start of the second period here, and Anderson, of course, is driving. Here on the Richmond 35-yard line, just had a short gainer there, making it second, and I would say about 15 or 16 after the penalty on first down. And we've been seeing it a lot, Jesse. We've seen it a couple times now, particularly with Anderson. They've had 2 big runs, but both have been negated by 10-yard penalties. One a block in the back, and more recently, a couple of plays ago, it was a hold.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's frustrating for the players and the coaches of Anderson because both were great plays. And when the block in the back came, I don't think it really had anything to do with the play upfield. So that's even more frustrating.
It's always frustrating when those kinds of things happen behind the play. Two receivers to either side for Armstrong. This time he'll look to throw. Sets up the screen down the middle, but it's incomplete. See and look who the intended target was there. Looks like it may have been number 24, Woods. It looked like he was trying to set up the tunnel screen there, and but there were a lot of Richmond players in the area if Woods managed to catch that ball. So now it makes it 3rd and 14 for Anderson. And again, Jesse, it's kind of in that odd area of the field where way too long for a field goal, but way too short for a punt. So you might see Anderson go for it if they don't pick it up right here.
Maybe operating with the mindset they have 2 downs to pick up the yardage.
Armstrong takes the snap. He'll swing it out to Morita, the running back. He breaks the tackle again. He's picked up the first down. He's to the 10, 5, and in. Touchdown, Anderson on the swing pass. Morita using his speed after getting the pass in his mitts and cutting upfield nicely and avoiding Richmond defenders. And Anderson strikes first here with 11-12 left in the second quarter. That was a great play set up. I've seen it now kind of 2 variations of the same play the last 2 times, Jess. Tried the tunnel screen, which was an incompletion, but the pass out in the flat to Morita did wonders for Anderson.
Absolutely good blocking up front by the receivers as well, because it looked like they sent their 2 receivers out there on the right about 10, 15 yards deep, and then they started blocking once the swing pass was initiated, and great vision there.
Bit of a low snap, so this one's going to be a busted play. Armstrong, who was the holder on that one, the throw downfield is incomplete. The kicker here is number 99, Matthew Strait. But again, the snap was low, and the holder Armstrong had to try and make something happen. He almost turned it in to 2 points as number 3, Cornell Morrow, was the intended target there on that busted play. So again, on your Wesley Bates.
Could prove to be big.
Very well could. 1 point here or there could turn the tide. If Richmond manages to score on this drive and get the extra point, that last drive for Anderson could be seen as a lost series there. And on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 6-0 Indians early on here in the second quarter against the Richmond Red Devils. Glad to have you with us. You're on Radio Troy Digital Sports alongside Jesse Ochoa. I am Eric Banton. As, again, Strait is out to kick this one off for Anderson. And a great job here by Anderson showing out for, pinking out a little bit as they honor breast cancer survivors with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Here in the month of October. Got the cheerleaders with pink pom-poms. A lot of the players wearing pink in their uniforms. Very short kick, fielded by one of the up men for Richmond, and he is upended just shy of the 30. Number 21 there for the Indians, Justin Stiers making the tackle on special teams. And that short kick worked wonders there, Jesse. Not a whole lot of room there.
Look,
go ahead.
Looked to be promising there with the short kick, but as you said, number 21, Justin Cedars got in there. Gunner, and pretty much the first person he touched was the guy he tackled.
So Richmond takes over on their own 28-yard line here. First down and 10. It's Jones as the quarterback. Got a couple of running backs there in the backfield. Henderson moves in motion. And it's a straight run here by Jones. Jones following his blockers, spinning forward, up past the 35 and up to about the 36 or 37. So a good, solid play there on first down for Richmond.
And now as play calling may become somewhat reactionary as the game goes on, I feel like that is one of the better options there for the Richmond Red Devils. Jones taking the ball up the center. I feel like the less misdirection for the Red Devils up front is the better.
Jones in the shotgun has a couple of running backs. Now moves Henderson in motion to the right. with Cody Reese, the wide man, out right. Jones rolls right, looks to throw. Ball is going to be caught here in the flat. And a great tackle on Ron Sanders, who's the man who caught the pass, but trying to get a number on this one. It's number 23, I believe, that made the tackle there for the Indians, Merklin DeWitt. Senior defensive back, 5'7", 152, but he played well past his size on that one. Did gain some positive yards, though, did Sanders. It's going to be 3rd and 1 with 10:19 to go here in the second quarter. We do have a stoppage here on the field. It looked like DeWitt lost his hat.
Letting them come back on, though.
Probably just an equipment malfunction, I guess, in that sense. And here's the option play out to Sanders. Sanders trying to bust through some tackles. He does and picks up the first down past the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Great job.
Go ahead.
Great job there by Sanders, cutting it upfield, getting a block there by number 4 on the Richmond Red Devils. That's Cody Reese off the right side.
Do have a player down here for Anderson. Can't quite make out the number, so we'll hold off on identifying that player. And with this injury timeout, we'll take a break as well here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Your score, 6-0, Anderson with the lead.
Summit Computer Systems is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware service, support, design services, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and more. Summit Computers, 1427 Chester Boulevard in Richmond. Give them a call at 939-2120.
Back with you here at Anderson High School, and a player down for the Indians. Again, we can't quite make out the number here, so we'll hold off on identifying that player, but can't really tell what they're attending to there, Jesse. Can you?
I cannot. I believe it's upper body, right side of the upper body, maybe arm or collarbone area, but I hate to speculate.
Looks like one of the trainers is also attending to the injured man's legs as well. Again, we can't quite tell what the injury is, but certainly hope this young man is okay. I did, however, see a 2 there on the jersey, and he is back up. That's a great sign right there. And he's going to be able to walk it off a little bit. It is the left leg that appears to be bothering him. That's 72, Jalen Maiden. Only a sophomore, a defensive lineman. 5'11", 231 right there. It was good to see him walk off the field under his own power, albeit with a little bit of a limp, but he made it to the sidelines unaided there. So after all that, it is 1st and 10 as the clock winds to 10 minutes left here in the first half. Richmond starting to move the football a little bit better here now. Jones in shotgun has one man to his left as the running back. Sanders on the left side of the line, potentially as a blocker. Out far to the left is Cody Reese. In the slot is Henderson. And now we have a flag on the play. It looks like we may have a delay of game there against the Red Devils. And that'll back them up 5. So instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 15 from the 38-yard line now for the Red Devils. Out here to the right side looks to be Reese. And they may have got those 5 yards right back.
They sure did.
Great job using the hard count there by Trayshawn Jones, getting the encroachment there. And instead of 1st and 15, it's now 1st and 10 once again. And now we have another flag on the far sideline. Don't know what this is for. Referee's now conferencing in the middle of the field. And now it looks like it's another false start on Richmond. The far side judge motioned for a false start, and he came in and overruled the other 2 officials. So now it's 1st and 20 for the Red Devils. Ball at the 33-yard line. And Jones working in shotgun. There's the snap. Fakes the handoff, trying to get away, but he'll be drugged down on the backfield near the 25-yard line. Big loss there for Richmond on top of the couple of penalties. That's almost 5 more yards there. Now it's second and very long.
Yeah, difficult play calling at this point, especially with the running style offense. So we'll just have to see what coach draws up here to try to get some yards.
They'll say it's second and 25 now for Richmond. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. And the play action. Here's Jones going deep, has a man, it's caught! And it's a foot race down the far sideline, dragging him down at the 10-yard line. The play action worked perfectly. And the man making the catch, number 7, Julian Holguin, just did a streak up the far sidelines, and he was open.
Beautiful pass. The ball was put on the money, never broke stride, and when he threw the ball, they were even. And if he's even, he's leaving.
Yep. Exactly right. That's one of the biggest plays that we've seen from Richmond on offense all season. Couldn't have come at a better time there on second and 25. There's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Bird. He's trying to go up the left side. He's going to lose 2 or 3 more yards there. Back to the 13-yard line.
So according to the pattern, he will gain for the next 2 plays.
Well, I hope at least that's what Richmond hopes right here.
Right.
So it'll be second and goal from the 13 as the pass to Holguin. And the play ended at the 10, so it was first and goal. Now second and goal. Jones gets the snap. He's going to roll right, and he's going to keep this one. Trying to cut up field. He'll get back up past the original line of scrimmage to about the 9-yard line. And it'll be third and goal coming up for the Red Devils there.
Trying to get some of those lost yards back on that play, just taking it off to the right side, pounding it with Jones. Smelling a touchdown here.
Just under 7.5 minutes left. Richmond trailing 6-0 to Anderson. And it's now third and goal. Jones in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield with it. There's the snap. Jones looking to throw. Rolls left. Throws it out. It's got a man. It's incomplete, but there's a flag. That looks like it's going to be pass interference in the end zone. Trying to see who the man was there. Number 25.
Arthur Lucky, I believe, number 7.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Jesse.
Sorry, showing you a 2 and a 5. I can see why you think it's 25. Need a whiteboard up here in the booth.
Yes.
I will come prepared next season, I promise.
So the pass interference makes it a fresh set of downs now for the Red Devils.
Intended receiver there for the Red Devils, I believe, was O'Shea Henderson in the left corner of the end zone.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in the lineup as well. Missed last week with a concussion.
Big receiver.
Very tall man.
Red zone threat. Going to bring the ball here to the 2-3-yard line, I believe.
Yes, sir. First and goal now. And here's the play action. Throw out in the flat is incomplete. Looks like he was trying to hit Sanders there.
First incompletion for Jones on the night. 3 passes so far. One went for negative 2 yards, and the other, as you remember, the big play.
Now they're saying it's fourth down. So I guess instead of an automatic first down there on the pass interference, they just made it half the distance to the goal.
I believe I don't know.
So fourth down and goal now for Richmond. Jones looking to throw. Ball is caught. Touchdown, Richmond. On the jump pass, it's O'Shea Henderson making the grab. Just talking about him there. And he puts Richmond on the board and ties this game at 6. Boy, give credit to Trayshawn Jones. He was under pressure very hard, made an off-balance throw, but got it to O'Shea Henderson.
Made a jump pass to O'Shea Henderson.
How about that?
And as we were talking about the play before, trying to get it to him in the red zone, big guy boxing out his defender, making the catch, difficult catch there across the middle, hanging on to it, and with the extra point good, the Richmond Red Devils lead 7-6 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard.
How about that? So Richmond takes the lead by 1, and we See, now that extra point missed by Anderson has come back to bite them big. We'll take a break here quickly on your Wesley Bates Mobile Management scoreboard. 7-6, Richmond leading.
For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. In a small town, a company like theirs cannot stay in business for as long as they have without being very good at what they do. It's not just about quality work, it's about customer service. If that's the kind of experience you want on your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Call Reynolds Plumbing today at 966-0994.
Back at Anderson High School, 7-6. The Richmond Red Devils playing with the lead here over the Anderson Indians. A big drive set up by a huge pass to Julian Holguin. That went for big yardage. And then the capper on the drive, a short 3 or 4 yard pass from Jones to Henderson. And that gives Richmond the 1 point lead. Stephen Hubert doing the kicking here. He'll put his right foot in the ball. A nice deep kick there. Gets it about to the 10-yard line. Here's the return on for Anderson. It is Woods off to the far sideline. He's got a couple men to beat, but he's going to be dragged down in Richmond territory about where they kicked off the football.
Special teams seems to be a strength here for the Anderson Indians. I'm not exactly sure, but they may want to start investigating some other options as far as the kickoff, a little squib kick action, a high kick, something like that, because it's a few times now that the kick returner has brought it north of the 40-yard line. This time the 40-yard line in the other side of the field.
And that was Keonis Woods, number 24. We've been saying his name a couple of times already tonight. Had some big runs and now has a big kick return into Richmond territory. Here's Armstrong running the offense. He'll hand this one off to Morita. Morita hits the hole hard, up past the 30 and upended at about the 27-yard line is where they'll mark him. Actually just inside the 27, about the 26 and a half. But a quick first down for Indians. They've put that last drive out of their minds very quickly.
Absolutely. Another 15-yard run there for Anderson. And I was going to speak to playing with the lead a little bit and how Richmond may do some different things on defense. But when you start with your opponent at your 40-yard line, it throws things off a bit.
Armstrong with the clap snap. Fakes the handoff. Tries to go up the middle, dragging some ball carriers with him. And one Richmond player tried to rip at the football there. That looked like Mikey Vance, number 41. And a 5-yard gain, though, there for Armstrong on the keeper.
I saw the same thing you did with Mikey Vance there, ripping away at the football. Thought he might have got it there at the last second. But I believe the quarterback for Anderson was down and the referee had blew the whistle.
Two receivers out to the right. One of them, number 3, Morrow, along with Woods, number 24, in the shotgun. Armstrong, quick throw out in the flat. Ball caught up to the 20, to the 15, and spinning his way down to about the 12-yard line. There is an Indian. It's number 6. That's Poor. Actually, that was Hall. Excuse me. Number 8, Arion Hall, making the grab. So that's a first down now for the Indians. Ball will be marked on the 12-yard line. First and 10. They kind of get to the 2. Armstrong. Quick pass right over the middle. Ball is incomplete. Looked like it bounced into his receivers right there. And that'll bring up a quick second down.
Yeah, very quick pass there. Interesting. It looked like just a go route up the seam. Catch and fire.
Second down and 10. Play clock at 25, now 23. Just under 5.5 minutes left in the first half of action. Richmond clinging to a 1-point lead over Anderson. Armstrong will take the snap. Late handoff up the middle to Morita. That play has worked all night, and it works again here. Touchdown, Anderson. Morita has now put all the points on the board for the Indians. And just like that, Anderson's back in front, 12-7. that late handoff, and it's really a draw play there, Jesse. It's been very, very effective, especially it seems like up the middle.
Absolutely effective to the tune of 74 yards in the first half and a touchdown for the running back, Marita. Like you said, all night it has worked, and it worked right there again. Up the middle, a little cut left, misdirection, right up the middle, and a beautiful execution there by Anderson.
Marita also got the pass out in the flat where he turned it upfield and ended up scoring as well. This is a good snap this time. Straight puts this one up and connects on the extra point and gives Anderson a 6-point lead, 13-7 on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. We'll be back with more Richmond High School football on Radio Troy Digital Sports after this.
Drive in for the win and drive out with savings. It's a savings drive only at Wetzel Ford. Choose from our huge selection and drive away with a win. Right now, you can lease a 2017 Fusion S for only $249 a month for 36 months. Or lease a 2018 Flex for only $339 a month for 36 months. Or save over $4,500 and get 1.9% APR for 60 months on our huge selection of F-150 XLTs. Drive in for great savings during the Savings Drive at Wetzel Ford, Richmond.
Back with you in Anderson, Indiana, just up I-69 and at exit 222. There's Anderson High School as the Indians now holding a 6-point lead again, 13-7, 5:22 left in the first half. And Jesse, that opening kickoff started the drive off very well. They only had to go 40 yards and did it quite efficiently there. That's an interesting kick there from Straight as it dies at about the 25. Here's the return on for Richmond. And spinning out of tackles up past the 40. Still on his feet up to the 45. Big-time return on Sanders. Making his presence felt there. That was a very interesting-looking kick off of Straight's foot. It was almost like a top just spinning with both ends of the football vertical.
I had never seen a kick come off a foot like that.
I am much like you. I haven't seen that as well. So great position here for Richmond to start off the drive on their own 45-yard line. Jones will be in shotgun. Pair of running backs with him there. They'll move Sanders. Got him as the flanker on the left side of the line. Bird right next to Jones in the shotgun. Two receivers to the left. One to the right. It's Henderson in the slot. Henderson now moving in motion to the right. Trying to drag the coverage with him. And this time Jones will just run it straight up the middle. Great job using his blockers and gets past midfield. Actually, they'll mark him down right at midfield. And he'll gain about 5 there. Actually make it 6. He is just inside enemy territory now at the 49.
Good run there, cut it upfield at the last second. Like you said, good job following his blockers.
And again, Richmond off to a good start on their drive. Got about half of what they needed for a first. And it's 2nd and 5. Man in motion, that's Sanders. He'll move off in the slot right. Jones didn't expect the snap, picked it up, and he's going to make positive yardage out of it and get a first down just past the 45 to the 44. That is great awareness there by Jones. Snap hit him right in the chest, and I don't think he was expecting it, but nonetheless stuck with it, got the football up, and picked up 6 yards for a first.
Absolutely. Back-to-back 6-yard runs there for Jones, getting a first down, and looking to answer are the Richmond Red Devils.
Sanders, it looks like, heads to the sidelines there for a quick breather. In his place is Gerald Deloney. He'll move Bird in motion to the left. Here's the snap, play action. Great play setup. It's Henderson again, running wild in the open space and down to the 10-yard line. Great play design right there. Play action was executed perfectly there by Trayshawn Jones.
34-yard pass there to Henderson right up the middle. It looked like he got to the point where it was about the 10-yard line. He wasn't sure if he should cut it back in, slowed up a little bit, but great job to get it in to the red zone there. Like I said, Richmond looking to capitalize on this opportunity just over 3 minutes just under 3 minutes. Just can't read a clock.
Under 4 minutes.
Just under 4 minutes to go in this half.
First and goal for the Red Devils. Play clock down to 4. Bit of a low snap. Pass out in the screen on the far sideline there. Try and make out who made the catch. We'll bring up 2nd and goal here on the 9-yard line. Looked like it was Holguin maybe made that catch. Again, 2nd and goal. Now closing in on the 3-minute mark here in the second quarter. Jones rolling right. Looks to throw, and that one was over the head of Wyatt Bird and a little bit behind him. It was a bit of a dangerous throw as well. Had some Indians in the area that could have intercepted that football. So now very quickly it's 3rd and goal now. Richmond starting to pass the ball, I think, Jesse, with a little bit more confidence now that they've had a few completions.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and especially down here in the red zone.
3rd down and goal, ball on the 8. Here's the snap. Jones tried to pitch that one forward. Ball is loose, but recovered by Richmond. Whew. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. That was pretty much a cluster on that play.
Yeah, the last second pitch was very dangerous there by Jones because he couldn't get all of his might into it, and it kind of died there midair. And luckily, I believe it was number 76, Big Shay Hall, who fell onto that thing finally.
4th and goal. Ball is marked back at the 12-yard line. Low snap. Jones having to roll out, heading to the end zone on the left. Incomplete, but a flag. And that's going to be the 2nd pass interference penalty that may wipe out a stoppage on downs. Number 14 was in the area.
O'Shea Henderson was the intended receiver, and it looks like number 2,
Mandel Hunt, was the man guilty of that pass interference call.
Same route that they ran that drew the pass interference call last time they were in the red zone. So I'd be interested to see if it is or if it was the same play. But here is another situation where I'm not sure what they're going to do with the down and distance. We're going to find out here if they're
going to keep it 4th down, it looks like here, Jesse, but that does give them half the distance to the goal.
Copy that.
So that'll mark the ball to the 4-yard line. Anderson fans starting to get a little rowdy here. 2:35 left in the first half. Sanders, it looks like, moves in motion. Jones looking to throw. He's under duress. Finds a man, but it's just out of reach of Wyatt Bird. There was no one around him. And it's incomplete. A turnover on downs for Richmond. 1st and 10 for the Indians now on their own 4-yard line. That was an inopportune pass right there.
Absolutely. It seemed like it was just out of reach of Wyatt Bird, and
still probably a very catchable ball, I
absolutely.
think.
He even waved his hand at Jones to say, I'm open, and probably was thinking about turning around and getting that ball to the end zone just before catching it.
So now that sets up Anderson again on their own 4-yard line with a 6-point lead, 13-7 over Richmond. And a long way to go for a score. Not a whole lot of time to get there, but once this Anderson offense, Jess, when it starts clicking, they start turning up the tempo as well.
Absolutely. I maybe misspoke a little or mixed my words in the pregame. Similar offensive style, maybe not as successful as the Lafayette Jefferson offense, but they do the same thing with the misdirection. They just don't mix in as much pass.
So it's Armstrong working in shotgun, 2 receivers to either side, 1 running back. And he'll hand this one off right up the gut and get past the 10 to the 12-yard line. Man popping up out of that carry was 30. There for the Indians, Ty J. Rayford, excuse me. 2nd and 5 now, closing in on 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. Armstrong takes the snap, throws out in the flat. Ball is caught, making men miss. Out to the 20, to the 25, and that's going to be where he's brought down. And a flag behind the play, as it was Rayford again with a big gainer right there.
And it looked like Julian Holguin was clapping his hands there. I believe he thinks it's a block in the back that'll go against the Indians, and it is an illegal block that will indeed go against the Indians.
So that wipes out a first down up to the 25.
And that still seems to be a 10-yard penalty.
That'd be a 10-yard penalty, but from where that yardage is, that should only be half the distance, I would think. That appears to be what they're going to do here. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Half the distance on that penalty since it was well within the yardage. Handoff up the middle. It's Morita this time carrying the football. He'll be tackled at the 12-yard line, marked here by the near side official. So it'll be 3rd down and short coming up for the Indians. Minute 30 left here before halftime. Not a whole lot of urgency, it looks like, here from the Anderson Indians, Jesse.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They have a short yardage here.
It seemed like at the beginning of the drive they were going to take their time, and once they get to a certain point, turn it up a little bit. Maybe they haven't reached that point, maybe the 30-yard line, where they really start to press for things.
Armstrong sets it up in the flat, and a great tackle at the point of attack. It's an incomplete pass as Morita was the intended target. But, boy, that was a homing missile attack and tackle there by one of the Richmond defenders. Boy, that was something.
Ron Sanders. He was...
Why am I not surprised?
I tell you, you say Morita was the intended target. No, he was definitely the intended target.
Quite literally, yes.
Absolutely. Big play there by Ron Bubba Sanders. Up
4th down.
Doing the stink face.
Timeout by Anderson. It's their first of the half. We'll keep it right here with 1:03 left. So
interesting predicament here.
Yes.
With the down and distance, it appeared as if the offense was on the field there, but it'd be a dangerous situation to go for it. And if they do punt the ball, you're expecting it to be between the 40 and 50-yard line with a minute-ish on the clock. Mm-hmm. The Red Devils have timeouts and could do a little damage.
Yeah, both teams now with a pair of timeouts left in the first half. And I think, Jesse, this might be an opportune time for the Richmond special teams unit to maybe bring the heat here. Try and go for the block. If not, again, like you said, this punt might only get to about the 40-yard line, maybe the 50 if it's a good boot.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you play conservative here or do you bring the house? And it appears, with most men towards the line of scrimmage, that they will rush this punt, but maybe not too aggressively here.
Quick kick. And that's a good one to the far sidelines. Deloney backing away from it. And, wow, just like you predicted, my good friend, that ball dies at just about the 40-yard line of Anderson. So Richmond doesn't have a whole lot of yardage to go, but they don't have a lot of time. 57 seconds left before halftime.
Looking to get first downs here. That stops the clock as well. No chunk plays yet, I don't think, is what they'll look for. Consistency, 5-6 yards, get right on the ball, get that first down, and see if they can get it into the red zone. Once they get in the red zone, I think they may call timeout and get regrouped.
Here's the snap. Jones looking to throw. Throws out over the middle. Ball is caught there on the far sideline. That's Julian Holguin making the catch. Again, quickly come the Red Devils to the line. 45 seconds and counting now here on 2nd down and short. Called about 3 or 4 yards here. Jones takes the snap. This time he'll roll out right, looking for a man. It's caught here by Wyatt Bird. Trying to break away from tacklers. There's a flag behind the play again. It does pick up a first down, I believe, but this one will set Richmond back if it is indeed against them.
Just about 30 seconds left on the play clock, although I don't know if this one will be against Richmond. I don't think I saw anything illegal there, but it is indeed a hold on Richmond, which will set them back.
And they'll set it back from the spot of the foul, I believe, which was flag was thrown at the 30, so they'll back them up 10 yards and put them at the 40, which is about where they started.
And that is the third penalty tonight on Richmond. 20 yards in penalties so far, delay of game, a false start, and that the first holding of the night for Richmond.
On the opposite side, you've got Anderson down for 3 penalties that were accepted and 30 yards for them.
Yes, and that is offensive penalties. They have 6 total. A false start, a pass interference, and a pass interference on defense, netting about 17 yards.
Richmond goes ahead and takes a timeout. I believe that's so that they can avoid any kind of runoff here with that penalty that was just incurred against them. Time left on the clock is 29.8 seconds, and Jesse, they've got to go 40 yards now in that amount of time. Only one timeout left now for the Red Devils, and we'll take one as well here on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. 13-7, Anderson with the lead over Richmond.
At Square Donuts, we take our donuts seriously, and apparently so do our customers. Square Donuts is by far the #1 donut shop in Richmond. At Square Donuts, we bake our donuts, cinnamon rolls, long johns, and many other varieties fresh daily. Donuts became our family tradition and business in 1967, and we've continued through 3 generations. Square Donuts in Richmond has 2 locations, including 1241 Northwest 5th Street and 3637 East Main in the Hoppy Jeweler Plaza. Square Donuts of Richmond. We never cut corners and never will.
Back with you. 2nd and 11. Jones rolling out left, trying to get rid of the football, but he'll go down back at around the 47-yard line of Anderson. And now Richmond will take their final time out of the half. That'll leave them with none left. 20.5 seconds left now for them to move the football. And that is not what you wanted, Jesse, there on 2nd and 11. Jones just seemed to hold on to the ball really, really long there.
Yeah, that is the kind of what you can't do. The number one thing in this situation is get rid of the ball, and you can't take that 12-yard loss as well. And I think Coach was pretty fired up as soon as he hit the ground. He was reminding him that in those situations, you just have to get rid of it. And much like we talked about last week, I believe, a little bit of what I like to call Andrew Luck syndrome, Superman syndrome. Mm-hmm. You know you can do it, but you just can't do it every time because there are 11 guys out there going for you, you know? So I believe that that'll come with experience and time playing the quarterback position because he is mobile and he can get away and make great plays. But sometimes you just have to take a loss and move on to the next play. Give yourself a better chance on the next play.
Exactly right. Now this leaves Richmond with 3rd and 17 back at the Anderson 47-yard line. Again, 20.5 seconds left in the second quarter. Jones looking to throw, losing time, somehow stayed on his feet, but that even may have been worse as he's now back into Richmond territory. Well back from the line of scrimmage. And now Anderson will go ahead and take a timeout. They've got one left that they want to use, and they've got 12.6 seconds left as it stands right now on the clock. We'll go ahead and take a break here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Your score on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 13-7, Anderson leading Richmond.
Mancino's is family-friendly, serving fresh grinders, pizza, pasta, and salads daily. They serve great food priced for family budgets. And whether it's one of their homemade grinders, salads, or pizza, there's sure to be something for everyone in your family. Our baking process may cost a little more and take more time, but the end result of freshness and flavor make the real difference in all of Mancino's award-winning products. Mancino's of Richmond. Give them a call at 966-1161 or go to their website, Mancino'sofRichmond.com.
Back in Anderson, 4th down and very long now for Richmond. They're going to keep their offense out on the field here with 12.6 seconds left.
And I think a key to this play is make it last 12.6 seconds.
Exactly. Jones sending Sanders in motion. Takes the snap. There's a flag on the play. Ball is caught out here in the flat. That's going to go nowhere. Cody Reese makes the grab. There's a couple of flags, one here on the near side and a couple toward the middle of the field, back around where the play started.
Looks like number 43 on Anderson may get called with a late hit. That's Jack Gray. I saw the flag down there. He was on top of Jones way late on that one, so that may be a late hit or roughing the passer or something like that. And then we have a flag closer to us on the near side, which I suspect to be holding or something like that. So we may have offsetting penalties here with just about 5.6 seconds. One more chance for the Red Devils to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I think that flag here on the near sideline, Jesse, might be a legal shift because Sanders came in motion and it looked like he just started to turn forward before the snap was taken. So, but like you mentioned, again, it might be offsetting penalties right here if that flag toward the middle and far side of the field is against Anderson. Referees are still conferencing about this around the 40-yard line. One of Anderson's coaches is out there as well, trying to get an explanation.
And he's now past the yard markers out there.
He's
trying
past
to
the numbers. He's almost to the hash marks.
Giving his coaches the hand.
And what an appropriate song to play right here. It's The Waiting by Tom Petty. That was absolutely perfectly timed. By the way, rest in peace, Tom Petty, one of the great musicians of the late 70s, early 80s. A lot of great tunes. He's one of my favorites. So they'll decline the penalty against Richmond, but we'll see if there's another one as well. We still have not really gotten any signals here from the officials. This is interesting. Anderson's going to call their last time out here in the first half. Again, 5.6 seconds left. I don't know how we could decipher this.
And neither do I, and I don't think I'm not sure exactly. And Coach Brown for Anderson just kind of removes himself from the situation at the moment as he's clearly frustrated and can't get an explanation from the referees either. So it seemed that there was 3 flags on the play, but only 1 penalty against Richmond, which was declined by Anderson. So.
And we got no explanation on that second penalty either.
There's 5 guys down there in striped shirts who know what's going on, and that's probably about it. And they look to be still maybe figuring it out or talking to Coach Brown about what exactly he wants to do.
And that's what they're doing right now. Coach Brown is at the 40-yard line here on the near sideline talking with the head official. Trying to get some sort of explanation right here. So right now, Jesse, it looks like Henderson's defense will still be on the field. They've got a couple of receivers out there as well in order to probably try and defend the Hail Mary if it is indeed still Richmond's football, which it looks like it is right now. So
do you go Hail Mary or do you go screen lateral?
Ooh, hook and ladder does sound pretty tasty right here. A little Boise State action. So Jones will take the snap. Has all day to throw. That ball is going to be caught. Missed tackle there. Sanders trying to make a play, cutting up the middle of the field, still on his feet to the 40 and just brought down at the 35-yard line, and that will bring us to halftime. Boy, I tell you, Sanders did all he could there to try and get down the field and get away from Indian tacklers, but could not do so right there. But he did make some good progress to the 35, and again, that brings us to halftime. And on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, the Red Devils trail going into the locker room 13-7 to Anderson. We'll be taking a short break and be bringing you some halftime recap, as well as a look to what is another great weekend in college football and in the NFL as well. So we'll be back after this with more Richmond High School football on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
The Purdue Polytechnic Institute in Richmond is part of a statewide network that offers the same technology degrees available in West Lafayette. The benefit of earning your degree at the Richmond location is that the campus is small enough to provide you with dedicated one-to-one attention while you earn your degree from Purdue University. Purdue Polytechnic of Richmond. Give them a call at 973-8228 or go to their website for more information at polytechnic.purdue.edu. New Vision Sports is a training program that focuses on the training and improvement of the serious-minded athlete, including all ages and skill levels. From creating customized workout plans to providing ongoing motivation and support, New Vision strives to help you achieve your training goals. Their trainers use a variety of effective workout plans based on your specific goals. New Vision Sports, 977-5831, or go to their website, newvisionsports.com. That's New Vision Sports with a Z.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we play. At West End Bank, we're not just in the community, we're a part of the community. And that's why we support over 100 programs for local nonprofits and schools, including our financial literacy program that positively impacts countless students throughout the area. You bank locally, so we give back locally to watch people grow with endless possibilities.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
It's summertime, the kids are home, and traffic on your carpet is pretty heavy. Let Georgia Direct install stain-proof, waterproof carpet that's easy to take care of and gives your home a fresh new look. Georgia Direct has great-looking carpet, colorful tile, beautiful hardwood flooring, and more. And for the kitchen, the Georgia Direct showroom features lots of new cabinets and design ideas. Georgia Direct in Richmond, National Road East, exit 156A, just off I-70, next to Red Lobster. For price, selection, experience, and service, it's Georgia Direct.
Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you're born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Big Boys Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boys Pizza. 765-488-0023.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
Hi, this is Steve Funkhauser, and I was talking to someone the other day about how friendly and professional the crew at Jiffy Lube is, and they said, you are always so upbeat. I'm going to call you Mr. Positive, and so now I am Mr. Positive. And I want you to know how proud I am of you and that you are doing a great job today. And hey, do something nice for somebody. Make somebody smile. Smiles are contagious, you know. I want you to have a great day and the horse you rode in on. Jiffy Lube. Fast, friendly, professional. I'm Mr. Positive, and I approve this message.
Back with you at halftime here as the Richmond Red Devils trail the Anderson Indians on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard 13-7 here at halftime as the Anderson seniors being recognized here on their senior night. This is their final home game of the season. And Richmond will have their senior night next week when they take on Harrison back at Leibold Field. Kind of run through some of what we saw here in the first half of this game, Jesse, as you were working feverishly there on those stats. We'll come back to that a little bit later, but we'll transition down to some of the college football happening this weekend. Got a lot of big games on tap. We've got Ole Miss traveling to Auburn. Of course, Clemson taking on Wake Forest. We've got Penn State traveling to Northwestern. I think that could be a trap game there for the Nittany Lions, in my opinion. Also got Oklahoma hosting the Cyclones of Iowa State. Got Florida hosting LSU, who is took a very, very tough loss to Troy at home. Never thought I would hear that. A non-conference loss at home for LSU. Other action across the country, we've got the Hurricanes of Miami going to Florida State for that big rivalry game. That should be a fun one to watch. Of course, one team that I think you and I both are excited to see is Notre Dame going to Chapel Hill to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels in a good road test for the Fighting Irish on the season. Other action as well, Big 12 action this time. TCU will be hosting West Virginia in that Big 12 matchup. Ohio State will be hosting the Terrapins of Maryland. We got USC against Oregon State at home. And then, of course, Virginia Tech will be going to Boston College. And Alabama will be traveling to College Station to take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. That's a rowdy environment that you are quite familiar with.
Absolutely. Went there a few years back with the Fighting Cardinals of Ball State. And that is quite the environment down there in College Station.
And wrapping up some of the top 25 matchups, Michigan will be hosting Michigan State in the Big House. And for that rivalry game, Central Florida will be on the road at Cincinnati. Central Florida just breaking into the top 25 in this week's polls. Wisconsin will travel to Nebraska, a battle of Big Reds there in the Big Ten. Also, Washington State will be traveling to Autzen to take on the Ducks of Oregon. Utah will be hosting the Cardinal of Stanford. And wrapping out the action, San Diego State will travel to UNLV. And the Huskies of Washington will be hosting the Cal Bears there in Pac-12 action. If you had to take a guess at some of those games that I know you'll be watching here on the weekend, which ones intrigue you the most, Jesse?
Well, some of them intrigue me for different reasons. As we go down the list, the first one that actually intrigues me is LSU versus Florida. Because, as you said, last week was probably something that no one in LSU or in Baton Rouge could have ever expected to see on the scoreboard losing to Troy. And will they bounce back? And that's, I mean, I feel like every game in the SEC is a rivalry game, you know? So that'll be quite interesting to see how those guys and how Coach O turn things around. Moving down the list, like you said, Notre Dame at North Carolina, I don't know what the word, ACC-ish conference matchup, you know. Notre Dame plays a certain number of ACC games a year, and that'll be a good one as they begin to gain familiarity with teams in that division, and I think that'll build as the time goes on. West Virginia, TCU, two ranked matchups. Ohio State seems to be not what everybody thought they were going to be this year, so that'll be interesting. Alabama and Texas A&M. Kevin Sumlin seems to be getting things back on track there down in College Station. You got Michigan, Michigan State. That's going to be epic as always. So really a good slate, and of course the Ball State Cardinals face the Akron Zips this weekend.
Oh, of course.
Man, the injury bug has bit us hard this year. We played a game a few weeks back, and we started the game without our starting quarterback. Riley Neal was out. Number one running back, James Gilbert, was out, as well as the number one wide receiver was out. And so it's tough to win when you have your big three out. But big credit to Coach New and the guys over at Ball State, still chugging forward. Jack Miles, the quarterback now. So hopefully we can get a dub and get back to 500 tomorrow.
Other MAC action going on. We got Bowling Green at Miami taking on the Red Hawks. Of course, your Ball State Cardinals traveling to Akron, taking on the Zips. We've got Western Michigan, which again appears to be the best team in the MAC this season. They'll be going to Buffalo to take on the Bulls, and then Kent State will be going to DeKalb, Illinois, to take on the Huskies of Northern Illinois University. One other matchup, Central Michigan will travel to Ohio as well there in the MAC. So a lot of good college football games on tap. Now let's focus back on this one, Jesse. You've got a lot of the numbers in front of you there. Kind of an interesting first half of action. Again, 13-7 on the scoreboard, Anderson with the lead. But Richmond, I think, showed what they can do on offense once they get some things clicking.
Absolutely. We'll run through the stats here for Richmond, and then I'll let you kind of bounce what you feel off of my stats. I kind of like to do that. Do the numbers match what you saw and vice versa? So Trayshawn Jones is 7 of 10 for passing on the evening. He's got 117 yards and 1 touchdown, something that I don't think we saw coming into this game. Hundreds of yards passing for the Richmond offense. He's got 9 rushes and 22 yards on the ground. Now, the one catch-all here in high school and college football is sacks count against rushing yards. So he actually has 2 sacks for 22 yards. So technically 11 carries, net 0 rushing, but I expect that to change going forward. Speaking of rushing here for the Richmond Red Devils, haven't done much of it, I feel like, with Wyatt Bird. Most of that has been done with Jones, and like I said, nothing to show for it technically in the net category. Those 7 catches have come by Ron Sanders, O'Shea Henderson, and Julian Holguin. Sanders with 2 for 16. O'Shea Henderson, 2 catches, 38 yards, 1 touchdown, and he's drawn 2 pass interference calls in the corner of the end zone. And Holguin has 3 catches, 63 yards, and the one big 50-plus yard play down the far sideline. That was huge. One of the more explosive plays I think we've seen by the Richmond offense, definitely tonight, maybe all season long. They have no defensive penalties so far, but 3 flags on offense, a delay of game, a holding, and a false start. That's 20 yards in penalty. And Ron Sanders has a tackle for loss, as well as Braden Thomas. That was early in the game, as well as Mikey Vance forcing that fumble, and Isaiah Webster with a big 12-yard sack.
I think, it's a very interesting game. There have been mistakes by both teams. It's just that Anderson, they had that early score. Richmond came right back and took the lead 7-6, but then Anderson, much like Richmond did, put that last drive out of their minds and went right down the field. Started off with that big kickoff return by Keonis Woods, number 24. Got it back to the Richmond 40 on the return, and the Indians didn't have very far to go for that last score. So I think those stats kind of match up pretty well. Again, I like what I've seen from Jones throwing the football. Again, I was not expecting a whole lot of passing from the Richmond offense this evening. I figured they would get the run going and then try and mix in some passes here and there. But good to see that it's somewhat clicking right now. Again, they got their score came through the air, which is very exciting, especially on a 4th and goal like it was right there. So I kind of like what I've seen. Again, like you mentioned, the run game just simply hasn't been there. And whether that's a combination of just Jones getting sacked a couple times or the running backs just not being able to find holes or given many holes there because of the Anderson defense, it's kind of been a wash, so to speak, in that regard. But Anderson, to their credit, has been doing a great job swarming to the football, clogging those holes, and making tackles against the Richmond offensive players.
And as we look at the stats here for the Anderson Indians, Aaron Armstrong is their quarterback, a senior, 176 pounds, standing 6 foot tall, and he's thrown the ball 6 times this evening, but has completed 4 of those passes for a grand total of 44 yards and 1 touchdown. They have 1 completion to Hall for 12 yards. They have 1 completion to Woods for 2 yards, 1 completion to Rayford for 6 yards, and as you mentioned earlier, 1 catch, 30 yards, and 1 touchdown for the seems to be all-purpose back, and probably the best player on their team, Elijah Marietta.
Yeah, Marietta has been all over the field. He's been doing his damage in that draw play that they've been doing a lot of this evening. They can turn that into from a draw into a quarterback keeper, which would be very dangerous. And I expect we might see that a little bit here in the second half. But, again, not a whole lot of time here before we get back going, about 3.5 minutes. And you got some more stats there as well, Jesse. And the penalties is what have kind of killed the Indians so far.
Well, absolutely. You perfect segue there with two things. The running by Anderson, he's got 81 yards and a touchdown, and Armstrong has nearly 40 yards on the ground. Big play by number 24 for the Anderson Indians. Woods, his 24-yard run was negated by a penalty. And as you said, big penalties here, 6 of them for Anderson thus far. You've got a block in the back, a hold, and a legal block on offense, netting 30 yards of penalty action and 17 yards, really because the 2 pass interference calls there down in the end zone make it half the distance to the goal, and then the false start as well. So total of 47 penalty yards and 6 penalties in the first half for the Anderson Indians.
And again, as we're just under 3 minutes to go before we get back underway here, we'll go ahead and take a break and then come back with some adjustments that both teams might make here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. It's 13-7 Anderson over Richmond.
Indiana University East is growing. Enrollment has doubled since 2007, and IU East is the university of choice in this region. With athletic programs, internship opportunities, bachelor's and master's degrees, and a growing number of degree programs on campus and online, it is easy to see why IU East is a leader on campus and in the community. Learn more about the many opportunities Indiana University East offers at iue.edu. IU. Focused on you.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians, and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf, and I approve this message.
Back with you here in Anderson, Indiana, on the campus of Anderson High School. The Indians lead the Richmond Red Devils 13-7 on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard here at Collier Field this evening.
Just a little bit of a quick overview of the game coming into it versus common foes. Richmond was 0-3 versus common foes that they had against Anderson, and Anderson was 1-2 against common foes that they've had. The opponent's record is 31-18 for the teams that Richmond went against, 25-24 for the teams that Anderson has went against. So a little bit of a stronger schedule thus far for Richmond. In the last 30 years, Richmond has dominated this series. 25 wins to 5 losses, and the last time that Richmond won was last year. 28 points for the Richmond Red Devils and 13 for Anderson. So a 15-point win pretty much on this weekend last year in 2016. Now, Eric, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What does Anderson or Richmond have to do to change that? It'd be on Anderson's case to change that. And what adjustments does Richmond have to do to get that outcome again? I mean, Anderson's already got the 13 points.
Yeah, Richmond, as far as Richmond is concerned, I think they just need to do a better job running the football, particularly with Trayshawn Jones. He's just got to learn to get rid of the football when there's pressure. If he can start doing that very quickly, I think that'll prove to be a lot better for the Red Devils. As far as Anderson's going, their offenses look really good, to be honest with you. They've been doing a great job with that draw play, the option with just a great job on the fake by Armstrong, the quarterback. He just does a great job pulling it away at the very last second when he decides to keep it. So their offense, honestly, has been very good. They've sprinkled in pass just to kind of keep Richmond honest there defensively. But so far, I think their game plan is working very well so far. As far as their defense, again, just trying to cut down on the penalties, be a little more disciplined on the defensive side, cut down on those pass interference penalties that prolonged drives for Richmond that could have been a whole lot worse. Richmond could be up by 1 point here had they not failed on 4th and goal there on one of their late drives. But again, I think this has been a very competitive contest. Both teams were trying to fill each other out there early on, and then we had 3 scoring drives in a row, 2 by Anderson, 1 by Richmond, and I think this could go either way here in the second half.
Absolutely. One of the keys to this second half really is this first drive. And one of the big reasons I feel like deferring when you do win the toss is my preferred option, because you do get the ball coming out of half.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing for Richmond to have. Now, had they scored there at the end of the second quarter, that would take even a lot more momentum into the locker room. But, again, like you said, they're only down 6. One score and an extra point puts them in front. So, again, right here, they need to take advantage of getting the ball first and just put some points on the board, particularly 7.
And maybe a little bit of the back of your mind theory there, knowing you get the ball coming out of half, influence the aggressiveness going for it down towards your goal line.
And only about a minute left before we get this one back underway at Collier Field. Again, on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 13-7 Anderson over Richmond here early on. And we've had a lot of NFL action. We've had one game already go down. The New England Patriots getting the 19-14 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A very low-scoring affair, surprisingly, out of both of those teams, which have a lot of offensive weapons.
Big fantasy implications. Rob Gronkowski didn't play. He's on my team. I'm 2-2. Should be 3-1.
I'm 1-3, and I had Tom Brady last night. So I got 12.
Copy that. TB12. More ways than one.
Getting down with a little bit of the sounds of the game. A little bit of Snoop Doggy Dog.
Absolutely.
Can't
Great
go
job
wrong with that.
Yeah, the PA here at Anderson definitely is on point with their music selection this evening.
So again, Richmond gets the ball to start out the third quarter. They deferred the coin toss and decided to receive here to open the second half. Again, I think the big thing here, Jesse, is just getting points on the board right away with this first drive. That'll keep the momentum going that they kind of had there toward the end of the first half.
Absolutely. At the least, flip the field position and put Anderson at a difficult position in their first drive in the second half.
So back to receive is Gerald Deloney, and we've got one more. That's Cody Reese back to receive for the Red Devils. It is Matthew Straight kicking off here for the Indians. Straight, ready to put his right foot into the football. Again, he missed an extra point on Anderson's first scoring drive. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Indians. Straight's ready. Puts his right foot in the ball. Again, another high, short kick fielded by one of the up men for Richmond. Finding holes around the middle of the field is the returner and gets up to the 45-yard line. There does the Red Devil. Might be number 14, O'Shea Henderson for the Red Devils. Actually, it's number 13, excuse me. That's Stephen Hubert was the up man getting the return there.
Good job moving the ball forward there as soon as he got it. North and south running, as we like to say, getting the ball upfield at the 45. Great field position for the Red Devils to start with some wide receivers on the right.
2 to the right, 1 out far to the left. And here's the snap. It's going to go up the middle. It's Ron Sanders carrying the football and carrying a lot of men with him. Past midfield into Anderson territory down at the 49-yard line. And Ron Sanders has kind of been the heart and soul, at least in this game, Jesse, doing it all on the offensive end. He's trying to run the football and get some success going in the run game. And on defense, we saw that great tackle that he made to force an incompletion.
Absolutely. I think that he might be here just so he won't get fined, because that was a Marshawn Lynch-esque run there as he pounded it up the middle, and the pile kept moving as he drives those legs.
Second and about 4. Handoff again goes to Sanders off the left side, breaks the tackle and gets the first down. Spins forward to the 40, but there is a flag just past the original line, or the line of scrimmage, rather. They're on that 2nd and 4 play.
Great spin move there by Ron Sanders, getting the ball up the field for some additional yardage when he did get the contact, but it will be a block in the back there for Richmond, so that will be their 4th offensive penalty on the evening.
I believe that now makes 30 yards in total penalty yardage now for Richmond. That will back him up 10 more from the spot of the foul, which appeared to be at about the line of scrimmage. So instead of first down and 10, it's now about 2nd and 12. Shotgun formation. Jones sets up, hands off to Bird. Bird trying to go left, cuts up field, does a nice job getting past the original line of scrimmage and just shy of the 50. And now makes it third and a little bit more manageable now.
About 7 yards on the run, I'd say, getting the ball past the original line of scrimmage and making it third and manageable. 3rd and 7 is what it's going to be, as there's 10 minutes and about 30 seconds when they'll snap this ball.
2 men out right, 1 man to the far left side of the field. That is Holguin. Jones in shotgun. Takes the snap. There's the option play out to Sanders. Sanders has a bunch of bodies around him. Somehow got out of the initial tackle. He won't get as much yardage as you would like, but that could have been a loss on that play. Instead, it'll be about 4th and 5 now at about just inside midfield.
Cut it back upfield a little late there maybe and ran into his line, but that allowed him to stay on his feet, and they kind of pushed him forward for as much yardage as they could. They're going to go for it here. Ball at the 50-ish, in between the 50 and the 40-yard line, or excuse me, the 50 and the 49-yard line. Going forward on 4th and 5 here are the Red Devils.
Very gutsy call. Here is Jones, lost the football, picks it back up, trying to make something happen. Off to the far side. He's got the first down and more. There goes Trayshawn Jones. A flag is down again as he is tackled just shy of the 10. And that, unfortunately, might wipe out another big gain.
Absolutely. The flag is back at about the 40-yard line on the far side of the field where a big block was made to spring him forward. And once again, it seems like that it was unneeded. He had the first down before the flag was thrown, but once he busted it into the open field, I believe there was, again, some type of illegal block by the Red Devils.
And taking a long time for these officials to make the call. Now we get the official word here now from the head referee. It's another block in the back against Richmond. It's a 10-yard penalty. So instead, again, of first down. And we also had a sideline warning against Richmond as well on that play. So instead, looks like they're just going to mark it at the line of scrimmage there, which was 4th down and about 4. So they put the ball back at the original spot. Jones has time, looks to throw. Ball is caught, and it's a first down. A great catch there along the sideline. It is number 7, Julian Holguin, again making a big play.
Really interesting series of events because it almost gave the Richmond Red Devils another shot at that 4th down like it has in the past, but this time the clean snap and good throw by Jones gets them the first down.
And the Red Devils are moving the football. 9:23 left here in the 3rd quarter. Jones ready for the snap, takes it. They'll swing this one. This one's going to be a lateral to Sanders. Sanders making moves, turning something into nothing.
Gerald Deloney with the ball making those cuts.
Oh, very good. Good call there, Jesse. Actually, Deloney there with the, which will go officially down as a carry, since it was a backwards pass. He picked up, well, he got back to the line of scrimmage at least.
Yes, he did.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Henderson in the slot on the right. Another low snap, but fielded cleanly. There goes Sanders. Sanders to the right side, still on his feet. Coming to the near side of the field and tackled at about the 35-yard line of Anderson. Makes it 3rd and short, about 3 or 4 yards now.
Call that a 6-yard gain. Got the edge there. Wyatt Bird leading the way. Plowing forward as always. Once he reaches contact is Sanders looking for a big 3rd down conversion here.
3rd and 4 on the 35. Deloney is in for Bird. That one's a muff snap. Ball loose on the ground. And it's fielded by Anderson. It was Holguin. Actually, excuse me, number 7 for Anderson, Arthur Lucky, who picked up the fumble. A junior defensive back, 5'10", 162 pounds, was very quick to get on that muff snap there for Richmond.
Didn't exactly see what happened there, but I believe the center may have errantly snapped it a little high, or it may have hit another player before it reached the quarterback.
So a drive that was going so well for Richmond ends in a turnover and gives Anderson the ball now on their own 35-yard line. They'll come in with a tight shotgun formation for Armstrong. Sending a man in motion. He'll now pitch it back to Woods. Woods trying to get out of some tackles. And a good job by the Richmond defenders swarming to the football and only resulting in about a 2-yard gain there for Anderson. And that was Woods again carrying the football.
Absolutely. Woods fighting forward for those yards there. Another 2-yard run for him, his second on the evening. Just getting those tough yards as it looked like it could have been a little something on the left side. But 2 yards it is, 2nd and 8. Or they're only going to give him a yard there, 2nd and 9. Just under 8 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Indians go with trips to the right, one lone receiver down to the near sideline. And the handoff goes, or actually, no, excuse me, it was a keeper. Keeper there by Armstrong. Again, a very good job disguising the handoff there. Gains about 4 yards now. It's 3rd and 5 for the Indians. They'll now go with trips to the left this time. Number 88, Beverly, is there, along with number 6, Poor, and Woods. Armstrong takes the snap, and he goes ahead and fakes it to Morita. Makes a man miss. He's got the first down and more, right up to midfield, and tackled out of bounds by Ron Sanders. Nonetheless, a great job by Armstrong, again, using the fake and following his blockers.
Absolutely. The pump fake on the pitch, or whatever you would like to call that, has been very effective tonight. Kind of keeping the defenders in limbo about who to attack and getting that first down.
Does a great job freezing those defenders on the outside. Armstrong will try and do it again. This time he'll hand it off to Morita on the draw play. He's up the middle to the 40, to the 35, and tackled down at the 30. Dragging a couple of Richmond defenders with him. We did have one player lose his hat. There's a late flag as well on the play. I believe Deloney was in on the tackle along with another Richmond player. Couldn't see who it was there. Number 23 came running off the field, Vincent Narcisse, who lost his helmet. May have been involved.
And the Indians are retreating. It is going to be...
It's a personal foul.
15-yard penalty?
Yes, I believe so.
So had that play stood, it would have been a nice chunk play, 20-yard run by Anderson, putting their running back over 100 yards on the game. But instead, it is going to be ball at the 45, first and quite a while. Or excuse me, 1st and 10. They did the spot of the foul.
I see. Okay,
so we'll give them a 5-yard run
15
there.
yards after the play was over.
Correct.
Okay. So again, ball marked at the 45 of Richmond. 1st and 10 Indians. Armstrong again. Late handoff to Morita. This time Richmond snuffs it out quickly. And no gain on the play. There's a couple of Red Devils were there around the football. One of those coming out of the pile. Number 51, Brandon Thomas. We mentioned him earlier. He had a sack on the first drive of the game. Really kind of set the tone there for Richmond early on.
Absolutely, and that is the first run this evening that didn't gain any positive yardage for their running back, Elijah Morita.
2nd and 10 now. Just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Anderson taking a lot of time off the play clock, and now it looks like they're going to take a timeout. Play clock was winding down under 10 seconds. I'll leave Anderson with 2 left in the half, and we'll go ahead and take a break as well. On your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 13-7. Anderson with the lead over Richmond on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Not all insurance agents are the same. Choosing the right one can make a big difference in price, service, and value. That's why you should choose Harrington Hoke Insurance. As an independent agent, they don't work for an insurance company. They work for you, the client. And their job is to get to know you, your family, and your business so that they can help you develop an insurance plan that is just for you. Serving Richmond and all of Indiana since 1933, Harrington Hoke Insurance, we got this.
Back with you at Collier Field on the campus of Anderson High School. And the Indians leading it with 5:55 to go in the third quarter, 13-7 over the Red Devils of Richmond. Second down and 10 as Armstrong goes with a tight shotgun formation. A couple of flankers, one on each side of the line. And Marita, the running back. Armstrong looking to pass, has a screen set up over the middle. Ball is caught to the 40, to the 35, and tackled down past the first down marker. Indians will move the chains there. It was number 8, Arione Hall, junior wide receiver at 6'1", 164.
Big play there, getting the ball into threatening territory here, looking to make it a two-score ball game are the Anderson Indians. Beautiful screen set up there. Composure by the quarterback, Aaron Armstrong. He knew he was going to get hit, delivered the ball right on target, and good blocking gave him a first down.
This time they'll go with, again, the flankers, one on either side, Hall and Woods. Armstrong again setting up another screen. That one's out in and out of the hands of Marita. He did have some space, but the pass was a little low for him. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 on the 33-yard line of Richmond. Interesting, Jesse, that they would go to that kind of play design again 2 times in a row, but this time it kind of came to the near side of the field instead of the middle.
Right, and it seems as if teams have done that in the few games that I've worked. If a play works one direction, they may go right back to it or flip it in the opposite direction.
Trips will now go out right for Armstrong. A bit of a low snap. Still on the ground. Came out of the pile with good stuff and is tackled hard. Actually ran over Deloney. Got a couple of flags back in the middle of the field, and Deloney was a little slow getting up as well here on the near sideline.
So several things happened on this play as a result of the flags, or excuse me, resulting in flags, and none of them had anything to do with the play, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe offsetting personal fouls down there, and we may have an injured Red Devil being carried off.
Yeah, I think that's Deloney. He's getting help from Mikey Vance. Actually, no, pardon me, that's number 9. Number 9, excuse me, Corian Ferris, the sophomore defensive back, is the one limping off to the sidelines. Didn't mean to alert anybody there.
And Keaton Davis, a 6'1", 280-pound offensive lineman, is who the flag is going to be on for Anderson. It will be a personal foul penalty.
There's
but
a
they
hold
are going
as
to
well,
hold as well.
and a face mask. So I guess
they were wrestling down there on the ground. They found 2 things that they were doing, and they will all set, and we'll play it again.
Spin it again. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33. Again, though, one penalty is a greater yardage than the other. I would think they would just try and do the net of that and give Anderson 5 yards or something. I don't know about offsetting, especially when you get like a 5-yard variety of something and then like a personal foul on the other side. That's
absolutely.
So again, we re-rack it, 2nd and 10, closing in on 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Anderson playing with a 6-point lead. Armstrong with trips to his right. One lone receiver out to the left. Armstrong going to try and keep this one. Bounces outside. He's to the 30, to the 25. Using his speed. He's inside the 10, to the 5, reaching for the pylon.
No signal yet, but I believe he got there. Still no signal.
The official is right on the goal line, yet I think he's going to call him out at the inch line.
From the angle we have up here, I believe he did take off from about the 2.5-yard line and get that ball into the left corner of the end zone. But they're bringing it all the way back.
My goodness.
For a hold. I don't see a flag on the field.
Yeah, I didn't see one either. It had to have been in the middle somewhere.
Right.
Because the play bounced to the outside here to the near sideline. So now it's 2nd and 11 after they mark the penalty from the spot of the foul. I feel this quarter keeps going. We might be stuck on 2nd down all night here, Jess. Here's Armstrong in another draw play, this time to Merida, up the middle to the 30, still dragging tacklers with him to about the 28-29 yard line. Mark him down at the 29, it looks like. And it'll be 3rd down and about 5 or so, I believe.
About a 6-yard run up the middle, as you said, pretty successful all evening. A 3rd and manageable here for Anderson.
Yeah, and that play's been working a lot. Again, Merida is a great ball carrier, but that offensive line has been doing a great job kicking him out and giving him those holes.
Absolutely.
3rd down. Armstrong in shotgun. Takes the snap, hands it off. No, he keeps it. Slips out of a tackle, gets out of bounds at around the 25, but he's going to be short of the yard to gain marker by about a yard, but now the far side official moves ahead a yard. All right.
And it will be 4th down and about a yard here as another 6-yard run for the Indians gets them closer to the 1st down.
This short of yardage, it looks like Anderson's going to go for it. And if it's only inches, why don't just go under center? That's my theory anyway. Trips again to the right, one to the left, and Merida to Armstrong's left in shotgun. The snap. Play out to the left. 1st down is made by Armstrong. Puts his head down and gains more yardage. Just shy of the 15-yard line. And that's a 4th down conversion there for Anderson. And Jesse, this drive is definitely taking up a lot of clock now as we're under 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Absolutely, and one thing that I saw on that end of that play that I was going to mention here in the last few runs there by Aaron Armstrong, he had a little conversation with the referee that I believe he's lowering his head and going straight in with his head pretty aggressively, and the referee kind of reminded him that it's not the way to do that, and he will have to throw the flag next time.
Here's the handoff to Merida, cutting back to the middle of the field. They'll get it up inside the 15. Looks like it's going to be marked down at about the 12 or 13, and we've got an injury timeout. And it is a Richmond Red Devil down, and we'll hold off on identifying that player. Can't really get a clear look at his number. We'll go ahead and, with this injury timeout, take a break here on Radio Troy Digital Sports on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Indians leading the Red Devils 13-7.
Big Boys Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boys Pizza. 765-488-0023.
Back at Collier Field, as the Richmond player has now gotten up, but he is getting assistance there to the sideline. Being helped off by one of the trainers and another of his fellow teammates. From the looks of it, Jesse, again, don't want to speculate, but it looked to be a lower leg injury. That might be the culprit right there.
Absolutely, and we'll try to identify him as soon as possible. Best wishes to him. Never good when you see them not wanting to put any pressure on an injury.
2nd and 5, 3.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Anderson moving the football well. 2 receivers to either side for Armstrong again in shotgun. Now we have a whistle.
Little equipment malfunction or an official's timeout with the quarterback's helmet.
Looks like it got readjusted and they're ready to go. Armstrong with Merida to his right in the shotgun. Armstrong has time, throws out to the left and overshoots his intended target, number 88, Arquavius Beverly. The intended receiver, rather. And quite a target he is, 6'5".
Yeah, that's a big young man. 6'5", 185-pound senior wide receiver who was wide open and just overthrown there.
20 on the play clock as it's now 3rd and 5. It'll be interesting to see what Anderson does should they not get this first down, Jesse.
Yes, make it a 2-score game or go for it. Missed opportunity there on 2nd down. Big 3rd down here.
Trips left for Armstrong. He'll take the snap. He's going to keep this one. Bounces to the outside. Trying to pursue to the ball carrier. He's knocked out of bounds. Be interesting to see where they mark this one, but it
going to be close, but it appears that he's going to mark him short about a yard or 2. Or more.
Wow.
That's a
lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, and especially because I did see the quarterback Armstrong extend that ball.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4th down and what PA calls a long one. I'll go ahead and call it 2. Hard to believe that was only a 3-yard run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially bouncing out to the outside like that.
And they will go for a huge play.
Yes.
Huge 4th down with only 2 seconds left on the play clock.
Here is the keeper. Armstrong going to keep it. He bounces outside, and he'll get it into the end zone. Touchdown for the Indians, and they extend the lead to 2 scores, 19-17, pending the point after touchdown.
Huge play there for Anderson to make it a 2-touchdown lead. And one thing I saw that was quite interesting, as we mentioned the delay on handing the ball off or making the decision to keep it, what I feel like it did on that play is brought every defender to like the same point. And it became the point where everyone was in not enough space to continue with their assignment, got the edge, and then there was the score. It looked as if, as the kick is no good, that it could be stopped there at the very beginning of some backfield penetration. But touchdown there by Aaron Armstrong, and a missed extra point now gives us the score of 19-7 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. The Richmond Red Devils will down, and we will be back shortly on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
And welcome back to Collier Field. It is Jesse Ochoa alongside Eric Benton here on Radio Troy as the Richmond Red Devils are going up against the Anderson Indians here in Anderson. And the score is 19-7 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. The Red Devils losing at this moment by 12 points, but are getting the ball right now.
Here comes the return on for Richmond. Not a whole lot they could do there. That high kick by Strait, which he's been doing all night, proves effective once again as a very short return, not even 10 yards. And I believe it was Gerald Deloney back there bringing the ball up for Richmond.
And Anderson is quite fired up. You can see that offensive touchdown has put a lot of juice into the defense, as we like to say at Ball State. The defense now indeed is playing with a little bit of juice, and we'll see if that proves detrimental to the Richmond offense. They're playing with a lead, and we could see some aggressive blitzing here.
2 running backs for Jones in the shotgun. Another low snap, but Jones manages to field it, trying to shake off tackles. He'll get just about to the original line of scrimmage. May have, in fact, lost a yard, and that's where they'll mark him back at the 27-yard line, excuse me. That'll be 2nd and 11 coming up as, again, the run lanes just aren't there when Jones wants to try and improvise.
Absolutely, I agree. The run lanes are not there, and it seems as if they're having a little bit of difficulty getting that edge, more difficulty in the second half.
Jones sets and fires, and that one's a short hopper, incomplete. Looks like he was looking for Holguin there on the far side of the field.
And it almost is better that that ball hit the ground, I think, because the defensive back on the far side, I believe it's number 2, Mandel Hunt, a 5'8 senior, was all over the receiver for Richmond. So Could have been a lot worse. Maybe good thing there that was a grounder.
3rd down and 10 now. 2:06 to go, third quarter. Richmond needs this first down to keep themselves in this contest. Throw over the middle is knocked away. Jones was looking over the middle, but number 23, Merklin DeWitt, did a nice job getting his paw on the football.
5'7", 150-pound DB. On the other side was 5'8", 140, Mandel Hunt. 2 smaller guys coming up big on those 2 plays right there.
So that will force Richmond to punt this one away on 4th and 10. Again, that wasn't great field position to start out with. They're already on their own 25. This will give Anderson, I think, great field position. They've got 1 man back deep. Only gets the snap. That one's a low line drive. And again, with the rains that we've had earlier on today, didn't get much roll out of that punt. And it'll be downed at the 47 of Anderson. So great field position to start off with for the Indians.
Absolutely not ideal situation. A quick 3 and out there for the Red Devils, but they're looking to cause the same thing here for Anderson and get that ball back, hoping to tie this game up or at least cut into that lead before the 4th quarter arrives.
1st and 10 Indians, again on their own 47-yard line. Armstrong sets up with trips to his left. He's got Woods along with number 6, that's Poor, and another receiver out far left. There's the handoff going to Merida, slips out of an ankle tackle and gets into Richmond territory. Ball will be marked at in between the 47 and 48-yard line and make it 2nd and manageable here for Anderson.
And it is just interesting to watch how close these Richmond defenders are to tackling him. Just seems like he slips out of those ankle tackles nearly every single time and then gets to the edge. And eventually, fatigue, I would hope, would set in on this young man, but he is quite the runner.
Trips go to the right side this time for Armstrong. 1 lone receiver down to the left. And it's a keeper for Armstrong. Trying to cut up the middle. Breaks out of the pack to the 45 and very close to the first down. In fact, might be right at the sticks. It looks like they will move them. So 1st and 10 again for Anderson. Although the marker on the far side says it's going to be 3rd down.
He slipped right in between Tyrus Jenkins and Elijah Love there, and I'm not quite sure how he did it because I think those 2 were blocking each other. He slipped right through there, made the quickest lateral move and cut it upfield, and that's another thing that makes him so special, his lateral quickness.
So it will be 3rd and very short. Just under 40 seconds to go in the 3rd period. Again, Anderson sticking with shotgun. And the handoff goes to Merida. He's got the first down, and, man, does a cartwheel up and over the 40-yard line. He'll be down at the 39. But he does pick up the first down in the end, but we've got 3 flags behind the play.
Tyrus Jenkins, Elijah Love, Jeffrey Wright, and Drake Wood, I believe, have all been mixing it up all night. Not Drake Wood, number 74, Keaton Davis. They have all been mixing it up all night, and for the last 4 or 5 plays, I've been watching them carry on after the whistle and talk as much trash as humanly possible in between. So I believe the referees are trying to nip that in the bud at the moment, but there is definitely some frustration down there on the Richmond side, I believe. Waiting for the officials' calls here.
They're going to call a hold against Anderson. I'll back him up 10 yards from the original spot. So instead of 3rd and about 2 lengths of the football, it'll now be about 3rd and just inside 11.
And this could prove to be a huge, huge play there. But now we're doing the offsetting thing. And this is where what you were saying earlier really pans out, Eric, and I'm not sure. I have no answers for you, and I'm sorry, viewers. everybody in the press box is kind of looking at each other confused as well. Sometimes they're offsetting, sometimes they're not. That was a situation where I believe there may have been 3 penalties, so the 2 offset and the 1 after the play doesn't.
Right.
So we'll have to get a little clarification on that from some officials going forward.
You couldn't have cleared it up any better, in my opinion. Armstrong set up in shotgun, takes the snap, and hands it off late to Merida. Merida up the middle, tackled hard by number 42 for the Red Devils. That is Jewel Taylor, junior linebacker. Tackled up very high, but good 6 to 7 yard gain there for Merida. Again, he has been the workhorse tonight. And that will, in fact, be the last play of the third quarter. So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard as we go into the fourth, it is now 19-7. Anderson with the lead and driving. Here on Radio Troy Digital Sports, we're back after this.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Back with you at Collier Field. Here on the campus of Anderson High School. 19-7. The Indians with the lead over your Richmond Red Devils. Alongside Jesse Ochoa, I am Eric Banton. Glad to be with you here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Red Devils, Jesse, has just been playing from behind now, it seems like, since the third quarter began. Had a tough start to the third quarter, had a fumble, and then just a quick 3 and out after an Anderson score. And now the Indians have the ball again.
And I think it really proves how critical turnovers are, because in the few games that I've called and the few that I've watched with Richmond, it is the turnovers that I believe have caused them the most problems. They have what I feel is a pretty solid offense that shows really good signs of potential, but that one step back is giant each time.
Armstrong with the clap, pump fakes, going down the middle of the field, a man wide open, and that is 6 more for the Indians. 25-7 right now. Number 8, that's Arione Hall, making the big catch. Oh, excuse me, number 88. Never mind, confirmation, that is Hall, number 8. Making the catch, he was wide open, Jess. Had some good cushion there between the defender and himself. That was one of the easier throws, I think, that Armstrong has had to make all night. And in this instance, it looks like Anderson's going to try and go for 2. They've got 2 receivers to either side, and they have the ball in the middle of the field.
62 receiving yards for Hall and a touchdown on the evening.
Armstrong on the keeper does not get in. So the defense bows up there, but still now on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 25-7. Anderson holding the lead over your Richmond Red Devils. We're back with more on Radio Troy Digital Sports after this. Don't go away.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, they are advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. Richmond Power and Light provides reliable, low-cost energy and technology services in a customer-focused, environmentally responsible, safety-conscious manner. Richmond Power and Light. Together we make powerful partners.
Back with you in Anderson, Indiana on Collier Field. And the Anderson Indians are enjoying some success now as they lead it by 18, 25-7 over the Richmond Red Devils. 11:55 left in regulation. Only took them 5 seconds in the fourth quarter, and they're back on the scoreboard again. I want to correct ourselves there on that last play. We believe it to be Jovian Poor who made the touchdown grab there. So we want to give him some due credit, and a good catch right there for him. Here's the return by Richmond. It's Deloney. He's up past the 40 to the 43-yard line. Actually, they'll put him at the 42. Good field position here for Richmond. They need to capitalize and do so quickly here, Jesse. They want to keep themselves in this ball game with 11:45 left now in regulation.
Absolutely. Time is now a huge factor in this ball game. Your enemy is the clock, and you're going to need to move as quickly as possible pretty much for the last 11 minutes and 15 seconds of this contest.
And we haven't seen much variance out of the formation here for Richmond so far. 3 wide receivers, a couple of running backs, and that's what Jones has right now. He's got Bird as a blocker. Jones going to keep this one. Finds the hole, cuts up, and boy, he's not afraid to take contact as he gets it up past the 45 to the 47 and makes it second and short for Richmond.
Both of these quarterbacks are not shy at all at the point of contact and want to get that extra yard or two falling forward as opposed to being tackled.
No signs of sliding either. That's what scares me a little bit.
Yeah. This is not baseball.
2 receivers to the far side this time for Jones. Henderson's the man in the slot. Jones takes the snap, throw. Ball is tipped and almost kicked into an Anderson defender's hands. Intended for Cody Reese. Justin Stiers was the man who laid the lumber to him. And it's 3rd down and 5. Under 11 minutes to go now.
Yeah, if he would have kicked that to the Anderson defender, that would have just kind of sealed the deal. And thankfully, didn't get there and reach the ground as soon as possible, so we have a big 3rd and 5 here.
Jones with 2 receivers again to his right. He'll take the snap, looks to throw. Time runs out. They'll be sacked well back into Richmond territory. Inside the 40-yard line, Jalen Maiden is the man who got in there. The sophomore defensive lineman, 231, flagged down after the play.
Way late on that one. So I'm
way
not sure
too many
what
penalties like this so far tonight, Jesse. Too much stuff after the play. This game's already gotten a little chippy here in the second half.
Yes, it has.
Don't certainly need to keep this continuing.
And it'll be interesting to see here what the call is. Maybe it may be on Anderson, as I feel like the 2 folks down there pleading their case are Colton Davis and Shea Hall, so it will go against Richmond.
Called unsportsmanlike conduct, more than likely a taunting penalty. Why you would do that down 18 points, I have no idea.
Well, as the old saying goes, it's only the retaliator who's caught, and I've been keeping an eye on it all night, and Anderson is not innocent in this. They're just not the ones that are being flagged at this point in time. But as you said, it has become very chippy and personal between a few players out there and a few matchups to this point, specifically on the line and linebackers.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 21-yard line. 4th and long. Deloney is going to go ahead and punt this one. Play clock has not started.
Just wind it now, yeah.
Just over 10.5 minutes left in regulation. There's the snap, a little high, but Deloney fields it nicely. Gets this one off of his right foot. This one's going to be fielded by Woods. And he actually lost his footing. Otherwise, I think he might have been able to bounce off some tacklers again there. Nonetheless, though, only about a 1 or 2 yard return there for Woods. And just like that again, Jess Anderson is back out on the field.
Be interesting to see how they approach this because they really haven't shown too much diversity in their offense. So they're going to try to score quickly, I would assume. But at this point in time, my main focus would be to start to run that clock, preserve the bodies as always, and make it to next week with your second W of the year.
And I think that's what they kind of did on their scoring drive previous to this. Again, the 3rd quarter took a lot of time off the clock and then managed to only score within 5 seconds in the 4th quarter. So we've had another flag pre-snap this time.
It'll be false start on the Anderson Indians, I do believe.
You are correct, my good friend. They'll move the ball back inside the 40 to the 39 of Anderson. So we'll have 1st and 15 now. Try and get the first.
47 yards of offensive penalties this evening for the Anderson Indians.
Armstrong working with a tight shotgun formation. He'll fake the toss. Has all kinds of time. He's got a man wide open. That is Beverly. And that is 6 more for the Anderson Indians. 31-7 now, pending the point after.
A 58-yard pitch and catch there by Aaron Armstrong and Beverly. And what was a very great fake pitch there, play action, got Beverly kind of bending a skinny post, as they call it. Not too much bend to it, but right up the seam he went and beat the defensive back. And kind of the same thing we saw earlier in the game from Richmond. If he's even, he's leaving. And the cornerback did not get his hips turned around in time to locate the ball. Beverly didn't have to break stride and scored a touchdown.
Extra point by Straight is up and good. So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard now, 32-7. Anderson in command of this one, trying to get their second win of the year here against Richmond on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Finding a used car dealership you can trust is not an easy thing to do, but for me, the choice was an easy one. I went to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond. I purchased my last 2 cars from Tony's and couldn't be happier with the service. They didn't pressure me, and they worked with me through the entire process. If you're in the market for a great used vehicle, get to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond, 250 National Road West, or give them a call at 962-5665, or go to their website, tonyscarsales.com.
Back with you at Collier Field on the campus of Anderson High School. And the Indians leading this one in a commanding fashion now, 32-7, after they had a 13-7 lead here at the break. And again, remember, they scored those 6 points going into halftime. So if you add those up, in addition to what they've scored here in the second half, you get, let's see, doing the math in my head, that's 25 unanswered points. Turn is on for Richmond. It's going to be Cody Reese returning this football. He's tackled at the 35. We got a flag coming from an official well behind the play. That's quite an arm on him, though, I'll say that.
He was RKO'd. It's going to be on Anderson, I believe, horse collar or some type of tackle up high. I believe he was tackled around the neck area.
They're going to call a face mask here. And they're going to say a 5-yard variety on this face mask. So move the ball up 5 more yards to the 40-yard line here for Richmond. 10 minutes exactly left here in regulation. And, well, Jess, it certainly does not look good now for Richmond to try and come back and win this one. And I think right now they've just got to focus on scoring and scoring quickly, just trying to put as many scores together as they can.
I agree, kind of like last week, as we said at the end of the game, put something on tape that you can watch when you get back to Richmond that'll give you some positive momentum going forward.
New quarterback in. It's Alex Snediger, number 12. Now at the quarterback spot, he'll take the snap and try to run off left. He'll get tackled behind the line. And in on the tackle was number 56 for the Indians, Zach Houston, only a freshman. Listed as an offensive lineman, getting some play here on the defensive side of the ball. Loss of 2 on the play on the Snediger keeper. And it looks like he'll be going the rest of the way. Not sure if Trayshawn Jones may have sustained either an injury or this is just a strategy move here. Handoff up the middle. It's Bird. He's got plenty of room down the near sideline, and he'll step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Plenty of yardage for a first down there.
17-yard run, the largest of the evening for Wyatt Bird.
Now Richmond trying to, I would think, quicken the pace here. 9:17 with the clock stopped for the moving of the chains. They'll start again on the referee's signal for play.
And a totally different, not totally different, but interesting look here. No Sanders, no Jones on the field this series.
Snediger again, the quarterback. Moves Deloney in motion from left to right. And this one will go up the middle to Bird, and he'll be swarmed down behind the line, about a loss of 3 yards. Big mess of Indian players there making the tackle. And we've got another penalty flag after the play. And I tell you, this has been one of the more undisciplined, especially post-snap penalties.
Absolutely. Be interesting to see what the total is at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
As this is going to be a personal foul on Anderson.
Oh, and they have ejected a player. Interesting.
Haven't seen that before in high school football.
I have not.
And who did they eject here? Number 18?
That looks to be the man running off the field.
That is Marcus Cullum, a 6'1 junior wide receiver who has been ejected from the sideline.
That's a first for me as well, Jesse. I haven't seen a high school player ejected. I've seen plenty of college and pro
from
players.
The sideline, too.
Yeah.
That is
yeah,
quite interesting. I don't know if he may have delivered a little forearm shiver there, or maybe it was just his mouth that got him ejected. But quite interesting turn of events there.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. Ball on the 33 of Anderson. Snedeker calls for the snap. He'll roll out to his right. Has time. Still holds on to the football. Throw to the sidelines, a little over his intended receiver's head. And that looked to be O'Shea Henderson.
Absolutely. They like going to O'Shea Henderson on that out route. And it has worked to the tune of 2 pass interference penalties this evening, as well as a big catch. So 1 big catch and 1 touchdown. So it has worked several times this evening and trying to go for it again there, but just a little bit out of his reach.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 8:53 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Richmond down 25, 32-7. Snedeker. And with 2 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. Sending Deloney in motion. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Tried to throw but lost it on the way back, but luckily he fell back on the football. So nonetheless, it'll be a loss of about 4 or 5 yards. And it'll be 3rd and long now for the Red Devils.
Great call, Eric. That's exactly what happened. It slipped out of his hand as he was trying to throw it. Good awareness to realize that that was a fumble, not an incomplete pass, and even better, in my opinion, fall on it. Don't try to pick it up in that situation.
Snedeker looking to the sidelines for the play here.
Was quite eager to see his arm, though. Maybe we'll get to see it here on this 3rd down.
He's got Holguin to the left. And again, 2 men out to the right. One of those is Reese. And now we have a flag on the play. Going to be a delay of game here against Richmond. Actually, a legal shift, excuse me, was the call there. And now they switch it to a delay of game.
It was a delay of a shift or an illegal game, you know.
An illegal game. Yeah, that's about right.
Also 5 there on the what they will stick with delay of game.
3rd and 20. Snedeker in shotgun. Has time, looking to throw. Got quite a cannon, but he outthrows everybody, and it's going to be incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Maybe a miscommunication there, but it does appear that he overthrew his receiver, and his receiver is unhappy about something, maybe a little bit of a pass interference or holding. I think that's Snedeker or Huber over there.
That's Huber, the intended receiver. Like he was the intended target there. He's got Reese as well on the right side of the formation. Now Deloney will line up in the slot left, along with Holguin wide left, and just Bird in the backfield for Snedeker. There's the snap. Looking to throw is Snedeker. Again, throws well over his intended target. It's intercepted. Flag behind the play. The return is on, though. Here for the Anderson defensive player. That was Woods getting the interception. Number 28. Actually, 28 is Vinny Rayford. Excuse me. My apologies there. These numbers are so similar here for Anderson.
Absolutely. The 6s and the 8s. They alternate.
Yeah. Again, though, there was a flag back at the 10-yard line.
And I suspect it will be a blocking foul on Anderson during that return.
So from that spot, it would be half the distance to the goal. So instead of the 10, it'll be at the 5-yard line. Is where Anderson will take over. Actually, it looked like a personal foul and a targeting call. Is that what I saw there, Jesse?
I definitely see the personal foul. I'm not sure if it was targeting or unnecessary roughness, but it was one of those plays I've seen several times this evening, as I said, with the chippiness. One player gets on top of the other, and then the guy who's on top just will not let the other one get up, continues to push him into the ground,
Right.
forearm to the helmet, and then uses his body weight to push up on the guy to get up. And that is what the referees are finally catching on to. It's been going on, honestly,
too long, too, in my
quite
opinion.
a bit tonight.
You got to nip that in the bud right away. So the play will start on the 5-yard line. New quarterback in for Anderson, Carson Slavin, sophomore quarterback.
Spot a foul penalty, causing a loss of 42 yards.
Slavin takes the snap. He's going to keep this one. Tries to go up the middle and is slung down hard just past the 5. They'll mark him down at the 8 for a 3-yard gain. He's 2nd and 7 coming up. And again, now it appears as if Anderson's going to take their time now, try and drain some clock, get this game done and over with for their 2nd win of the year. Jesse, we've seen it earlier. We mentioned it very early in the broadcast, but a lot of these players have the wristbands with the plays on them.
Absolutely, and I think that will probably speed things up when you want it to and slow things down when you need it to,
Bit of a high snap fielded by Slavin. He got the handoff off cleanly. That was Woods, number 24, Keonis Woods, this time on the carry.
No gain.
Just under 6:40 to go here in regulation. It's 3rd and 8 on the scoreboard here for the Indians. They'll work with trips to the left, one lone receiver down to the right. Here on the near sideline for Slavin. He'll take the snap. Throw over the middle is tipped at the line of scrimmage and results in an incompletion.
And if that was not tipped, the slant was looking pretty promising there. So good thing that was tipped. Otherwise, we could be talking about a first down for Anderson. Good defensive stand there by Richmond to get the ball back. Get some more points on the board. The game may be a little bit out of reach at this point, but success is never too late.
6:21 left in the fourth quarter. Here's the punt. Another high, short one here. Richmond trying to stay away from it here. And again, some more chippiness there here on the near sideline, but it seemed like they shook it off there. Ball will be downed at the 41 of Anderson.
Number 7 for Anderson, Arthur Lucky, going at it with number 21, the opposite way there. Number 21, Keelan Muller going at it. Just chippiness, but one thing I liked about that one, like you said, they shook it off after. It's during the play.
Yeah.
During the play, they were going 110% against each other, and as soon as the play was over, good job, man.
Yeah. So Richmond has it again on Anderson's 41-yard line, 1st and 10. 6:13 left in regulation. 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. It's Henderson in the slot, I believe. Snediger. Actually, no, he handed that ball off. It's Deloney running down the near sidelines. He got me as he's down to the 15-yard line and a 1st and 10 for Richmond.
Big 26-yard run there. Huge play, probably a interesting ball carrier. Probably first time we've seen him carry the ball this evening. Definitely the first time we've seen him carry the ball this evening. So interesting, mixing up who's been doing what compared to what we're used to in this drive and the last, and it seems to be working on a few things. Lost his footing there.
That was Deloney again on the carry. Will get marked back to the 15-yard line. Loss of a couple. It'll be about 2nd and 11, actually. Only a loss of 1. So we close in on 5.5 minutes left in the fourth. You have seen Deloney get carries late in ball games. Again, with the game out of reach, he's been getting some looks there at tailback.
And I was
quite a good job.
I was going to talk to this a little bit a few series ago. Wasn't out of reach yet.
Here's Snedeker rolling out right. That one was incomplete. And we've got a flag after. Actually, it looks like it's going to be roughing the passer here against Anderson, as that hit came a little bit late. But nobody was in the area of that Snedeker pass.
But as I was saying, this gives the opportunity for Coach Tawfiq to kind of look at some new things, some wrinkles that he may bring in the future, and evaluate the talent he has going forward to next year. As you mentioned, we're looking at our another penalty here for Anderson.
Yep, roughing the passer there. That'll be half the distance, I believe. And an automatic first down as well. So they have marked the ball just inside the 10. So it's 1st and goal now for the Red Devils.
And that is the 7th defensive penalty for Anderson, now totaling over 70 yards taken off the field.
Wow.
The biggest, they spotted the foul penalty, costing them 42 yards of field position.
1st and goal, Richmond. Snedeker and shotgun. Got 2 running backs with him, Bird and Deloney. Handoff goes to Bird. Bird trying to cut back up the middle of the field. Give credit to Anderson, though. They've been doing a great job following the ball. They have just been sticking to where the ball is and going right to it.
Absolutely, and Bird lowered his head and tried to get as many yards as he could there, but ended up losing 1, getting it back to the line of scrimmage, I thought. Just under 5 minutes to go here as a 2nd and 11 for Richmond.
2nd and goal. 2 men right, 1 man left for Snedeker. He'll take the snap. Throwing toward the corner pylon, and again, just out of reach. There for the intended target.
O'Shea Henderson was against the intended target on that out route. They love that play with him. It has been fairly effective this evening, and they keep going back to it. Seems to be beating his man to the spot, and definitely has the ability to box out and get that ball at his highest point. Just the ball has not been exactly where it needs to be on that route. That route is so particular. The ball kind of needs to be only where the receiver can catch it on or over their shoulder.
It's also kind of a timing route.
Absolutely, and it's difficult when you're switching quarterbacks.
Here's Snedeker tossing it back to Bird. Bird trying to slip out of some tackles. A flag goes down. They're going to say his progress stopped inbounds. The clock will keep moving, but it has stopped with the penalty. Couldn't really see what it could have been there, Jess. Did you?
Believe it might have been holding on Richmond down there. I was going to say good blocking by the line off on the right side up the field, but just as I was thinking that, I saw some laundry come on the field, and I do think it was holding on number 74 for Richmond.
That is indeed the call. So back up, Richmond up 10 yards, and it'll remain 3rd down with 3rd down and goal. All the way back at about the 18-yard line. Two receivers left. It's Henderson in the slot and 1 lone receiver out right. Bird moves in motion as a flanker on the right side. A little bit of a screen pass to Deloney, and that goes nowhere. Loss of yardage. Lost about, I would say, 3 or 4 yards on that play. And now it's 4th and goal from about the 21-22 yard line. So now Richmond looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field. They're going to try and go for this one. 3:39 and counting left in regulation. Snedeker with 2 receivers right, 1 left. Takes the snap, play action, pump fakes, moves out, throws the ball into the corner. That one is almost caught but dropped at the last second. It would have been a tough catch there in the corner of the end zone. And it looked to be Stephen Huber, the intended target. They're in the near side corner. So it's a turnover on downs for the Red Devils. Again, ever since the second half started, it's been just that kind of a tough night for Richmond.
Tough sledding so far for Alex Snedeker, throwing the ball since he's gotten to the game. 0 for 6 with 1 interception. As you said, Eric, the timing seems to be just a little bit off. The arm is definitely there. The routes are there. Just a little bit of miscommunication and timing at times.
So Anderson takes back over. Slavin will swing it out in the flat to his running back. The ball is caught. And forward progress. That was Woods, number 24 again. Keonis Woods been quite the playmaker so far tonight for the Indians. Second down and 4 now, under the 3-minute mark. And it is Slavin in the shotgun. Another screen pass out to the left, or to the right this time. And a good job and a good strong tackle there by Julian Holguin. They're out in the flat for no yardage, really. It'll be now 3rd down and about 7 or 8. Interesting to see, though, that Anderson is still passing the football.
Absolutely.
And only prolongs it if there's a lot of incompletions there.
Right.
And 3rd down and 8. Slavin takes the snap, rolls out to his right, throwing this one down the field. That one's tipped and caught by an Anderson receiver off the deflection. And it's a 1st down at midfield.
That'd be number 6 on the catch. His 2nd of the evening for Anderson. One going for a touchdown. That'd be Jovian Poor. Just in the right place at the right time, as it was almost picked off. As you said, Slavin had to pick the ball up off the ground to get the play going. And hot potato, 1, 2, 3. Goes into Jovian Poor's hands, up the field to the 50 for a 25-yard gain. 60 yards for him now on 2 catches.
Slavin again, another tough time handling the snap. Came back there pretty hot. Did get the handoff to his running back, but it was a loss of 2. Jalen Heidelberg with the carry. Only a loss of 2 there. Heidelberg, a sophomore running back.
New players in on almost every position here for Anderson, as they just appear to be running out as much clock as they can before this one is wrapped up. And number 24 down the right side is wide open and just through his hands. Woods was seeing the end zone there.
He saw the seas part. There was not a man within 10 yards of him, and he forgot one important thing, and that's catch the football.
Right. Nah, not important. 32-7.
Still, though, why would
although fantasy owners everywhere are going crazy.
3rd and 12 for the Indians. 1:05 left here in regulation. Slavin gets the snap, looking to throw, has time, throwing this one out over the middle, and that one's going to be dropped.
Nearly
an
picked
easy
off
interception
right
there.
Absolutely, that was
Deloney. No, excuse. Yeah, it was Deloney. Number 5 there. Had it in his mitts and just lost it as he went to the turf. So just under a minute now. It's 4th down. And Anderson's going to go for it. Two receivers to either side for Slavin. He's got Woods as his running back. There to his right. Gets the snap. Looks to throw. Finds a man out in the flat. Ball is caught. Slips a tackle past the 50, but well short of the first down. It'll be a turnover on downs. 50.7 seconds left here for Richmond to try and do something before the end of regulation. And on the catch there was Cornell Morrow. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage after the catch. And it resulted in a turnover on downs. Richmond looks like they're going to keep Snedeker out in the field. Again, when you have a new quarterback that hasn't seen a lot of playing time, particularly during anger,
right,
in the first half, got to be hard to have some kind of chemistry there with those receivers. And I think that's what's been happening here with Snedeker late in this game. And we've got a flag before the play. Still was plenty of time on the play clock. It's going to be offside, or encroachment rather. 5-yard penalty against Anderson. That'll move it up into Anderson territory at the 48. 1st and 5 for the Red Devils. And what will be a game that moves them to 0-8 on the season. Anderson will move to 2-6. Snedeker takes the snap. Has time, finds the open man. Ball is caught for a first down. Just past the sticks. That was Cody Reese making the catch. That should be a first down. Up to the 43-yard line. 44.4 seconds left. As they just now start winding the clock. Snedeker has time again, trying to go to Reese, and that one's almost intercepted. 36.7 left. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Now after that one, which almost was picked off. Intended receiver was Cody Reese, but he was covered by 3 or 4 Indians there. 2nd and 10 on the 48. There's the snap. Snedeker rolls away from pressure, trying to find somebody. Instead, this one goes to the sidelines. It's going to be incomplete. Good coverage down the field there for the Indians is what caused Snedeker to hesitate there. 28.6 left now, and it's 3rd and 10. Snedeker going to keep pretty much the same formation. He's got 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. Down the far side is Reese. Has Stephen Huber in the slot left, along with Julian Holguin. And now Richmond will call a timeout with 27.8 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. We'll go ahead and take a break and be back with the finish of this one here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
At Square Donuts, we take our donuts seriously, and apparently so do our customers. Square Donuts is by far the #1 donut shop in Richmond. At Square Donuts, we bake our donuts, cinnamon rolls, long johns, and many other varieties fresh daily. Donuts became our family tradition and business in 1967, and we've continued through 3 generations. Square Donuts in Richmond has 2 locations, including 1241 Northwest 5th Street and 3637 East Main in the Hoppy Jeweler Plaza. Square Donuts of Richmond. We never cut corners and never will.
Back at Collier Field, here on the campus of Anderson High School.
Shout out Square Donuts. We never cut corners. I love that.
I like that too. 3rd down and 10. Here's Snedeker. Going out to his left, avoiding pressure, throwing on the run. Ball is caught by Huber. Makes the catch, staying on his feet and pushed out of bounds inside the 30. And they'll mark it at the 28 or 27-yard line there. 20 seconds even left in this one.
Really nice 20-yard completion there for a first down.
Now Richmond will set up. 20 seconds left in this one. Snedeker definitely showing off his arm strength today here late in the contest. So he'll take the snap again. Looking to throw, trying to avoid pressure, and does. Going to roll off to the right. Try and hit the corner. He's got the edge. He'll run out of bounds at about the 10-yard line there. Stops the clock with 10.5 seconds left and makes it 1st and goal. Actually, excuse me, he stepped out at the 12. It'll be 1st and 10. They can get to the 2 to pick up the first down.
14-yard run there for the first down. 10 seconds to go. And I think Richmond has 2 timeouts, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Tawfik use both of those and try to get the ball in the end zone by any means necessary here.
2 receivers left this time, 1 to the right. And a running back on either side of Snedeker. He'll drop back, throw out in the flat. That one is dropped by Huber. He'll make it 2nd and 10 with 7 seconds left.
And the way Huber was looking, I'm not sure if he was going to chuck that one or run with it. I'm not sure if there was a little trickery there or...
trickeration.
Right?
Might have 2 plays here if you do them quickly for Richmond. 7 seconds left. Need 12 yards for a score. And now Anderson will take a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half. They've got 1 left. And Jesse, just a tough way for Richmond to end this game. Again, only down 6 at the half. And it just kind of blew open for them. Anderson finally found their rhythm offensively, and that's what put them ahead in this one.
Absolutely, like you said, the unanswered points and finding their rhythm there in the early part of the third quarter really put the game in a different perspective, in a different mindset there for Richmond as they started to play from behind and the lead grew there. So tough one, as you said, probably the most winnable game left on the schedule for both of these teams, and maybe that is a little bit to lead to the extra chippiness that we've been seeing this evening.
2nd and 10 out of the timeout by Anderson. Ball on the 12-yard line of the Indians. Snedeker takes the snap, going to throw, tries to find a receiver. It's incomplete. Looking for Holguin there on the crossing route. Knocked away by big number 88. That's Beverly. Actually getting some time on defense now at the corner position, it looks like. And that's not a bad corner to have at 6'5".
Right. I don't think anybody is mossing him.
That's right.
Just a guess, though.
Third down and 10. 3.2 left. Snedeker in trouble, rolling out to his left. Trying to make something happen on the last play of the game. Ball is tipped and caught. That's going to be a touchdown for Richmond as time expires. That is Julian Holguin making the catch. Good eyes there, Jesse. There is a flag, though, on the far side of the field.
Let's hope it's celebration.
Right?
That was an interesting play there at the back of the end zone. It will be on Anderson. I believe they're going to wave the flag off, which is perfect to me. And it will be a touchdown. Richmond Red Devils. It's going to be Holguin catching the ball. 12-yard touchdown pass.
Good for Alex Snedeker to make his way onto the box score with a touchdown throw. And it looks like he's going to stay out there, and Richmond's going to try a 2-point conversion here with no time on the clock.
5 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown this evening for Julian Holguin.
10 on the play clock here for this 2-point conversion, which again doesn't mean a whole lot, but it means a whole lot for this Richmond team. Snedeker, the throw, batted away. And that is how this one is going to end. Knocked away, and that ends at 32-13. Richmond going down by 19 to the Anderson Indians. They'll try to get back on the right track back at home at Leibolt Field, where they will take on Harrison on their senior night. Tough way for the Red Devils to go down in this one, Jess, but it's good to see that they kept fighting there and got some more points on the board at the end.
Absolutely, as we've talked about, no quit in this team, fighting until triple zeros, or in this case, 0.0 left on the clock, and it proved to be the right thing to do. Maybe the obvious thing, but it proved to be beneficial because good experience for different guys in different positions, and a touchdown at the end of the game.
So again, on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, the final here, Anderson 32 and Richmond with 13. That's going to do it for us here from Collier Field, and we'll be back next week as they take on Harrison here for senior night next week back at Leibolt Field. And again, we'll have that for you here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. So for Troy Darengowski and my partner Jesse Ochoa, I'm Eric Benton saying goodnight from Anderson, Indiana. Stay safe and have a great weekend.